Happy Monday, Facebook. It's the two of us today. Pam is down at Walt Disney World right now being a social media influencer.
She's posting a ton, although she's sending it all to me, so I'm posting it.
I've seen it on Instagram.
No, she's been posting a lot of her own stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, she posted cupcakes and extra morning magic hours at the studios. And let's see, she posted some Riviera pictures from the deluxe studio.
I know, that looks really nice. Yeah,
it's awesome. She's living the good life, as always.
She is.
Everybody wants to be Pam Forster.
100%.
Hey, can you kick your volume up on your settings just real quick? Just check them before we get going.
Yes, I will try. Hold on, let me see if I
remember. If not, I'll kick you up on the board, but it's easier if you do it from your end. Hey, James.
Open volume mixer, right?
Yeah, right click on the little speaker in the taskbar and then recording devices.
Oh, recording devices. Okay.
What's up, Alan Webb? Not much. It's Taco Bell night. I mean,
I have sound settings or volume mixer. Open.
Did you right click?
Yes.
Open volume mixer, playback devices, recording devices, sounds, volume controls options.
All I have is hold on, I'm opening something. So we'll see what I have.
Okay. If not, I can kick you up on the board. It's not a big deal.
It looks like I'm up 100%. So
James J. Never seen Game of Thrones. I was just telling Matt I was going to watch it. I'm not watching it. I don't care. That's just, I'm not into it. I haven't seen Endgame. Haven't seen. You can spoil me all you want. I don't care. The turtle looking guy with the glove. I think he kills everybody. Yeah, that is the gal from Motorway Radio, by the way. Yes.
Turtle looking guy. Me? Oh. Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm up all the way. Oops. My volume is up all the way.
Okay. Good. I'll kick you up on the board. You know what?
Okay.
See, all I do is that. Boom.
Sorry.
No, it's not a big deal. So Jennifer's here. Was she from Dublin? Wow. Nice. And she's City Mapper.
Yes, of course. City Mapper is the best. I'm telling you.
All right. James J is going to 3028. Fine. I listened to them this morning on my run. So what can I say? Listen to all their FOMO stuff. Love those guys. Hey, Michelle. Happy Monday over in the UK.
Hey.
Love it. Everybody's listening from everywhere. And I'm
everywhere.
Yeah. 2 days for me, baby. 2 days heading to Walt Disney World on jet plane.
That's awesome.
I love it. Okay, we got to get to business because we got a lot to do tonight. So the show might be a little bit shorter because we might do 3 shows, 2 questions on a Friday. Just hang tight. And also tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern, probably going to do a call-in show, and I need people to call. I need at least 6 or 7 calls. So if you can make it tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern, we'll just do a quick 1-hour show. That'll be the next Friday show, and we'll be good. Okay, here we go. This is questions 1479. And if you have questions, put them in the chat, please. Welcome to episode 1479 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Wednesday to you. I hope this week is going great for you. It's going great for me because we are headed to Walt Disney World this evening, 7 o'clock, getting on a Southwest Airlines jet, arriving in Orlando around 10:30. Crossing my fingers we don't have weather. It's supposed to be a little rough. Heading out for the Summit Cheerleading Championships. So if you are a cheer mom or cheer dad or cheer adjacent relative, these are the 3 words we want to hear this weekend. You just hit. That means you've done a no deductions performance. You're in the running for the championships, or at least to move on from Saturday to Sunday to the finals. Mallory's squad has 31 squads competing for 10 spots to the finals, and then top 3 for the championship. So 31 teams, going to be exciting over at ESPN. If you're over there this weekend, we'll be there Saturday and Sunday. Give a shout out. And of course, Sunday after the championships, headed to Epcot, Cinco de Mayo, Pam Forrester, Epcot, having a good time. Look for us there too. So you have a great time. Follow on Instagram and Twitter at Be Our Guest Mike. But joining me today to answer your listener questions. Pam's not here because she's already down at Walt Disney World, but Ricky is here from a DisneyWorldAfterAll.com, touringplans.com, and the Mouse for Less. Happy Wednesday, Ricky. What's up?
I am just going to enjoy a nice weekend sitting at home because I will not be celebrating Cinco de Mayo at Epcot. So,
well, I am kind of sad that I'm missing it at
Last
Fuentes. I know we had to tell Sarita, and she's kind of, but what can you do?
That's a bummer. But yeah, I mean, That's okay. I will be in Orlando plenty in the month of May, so it'll be okay.
All right. It's good stuff. So, yeah, definitely it's going to be a happy Cinco de Mayo wherever you are. It's coming up soon. It's one of my favorite holidays. All right. First question of the day comes from Kristen. She says, "Hi, Mike, Pam, and Ricky. First of all, thanks so much for your great podcast. As a first time Disney trip planner, your podcast has been invaluable in my preparation. I've binged listened to so many at this point. My husband probably thinks I'm not going to come back from Walt Disney World. But eventually the credit card maxes out and you do have to come home. That's
usually, yeah.
Usually when it's time. She says, so here goes. In 2 weeks. So in 2 weeks, this just came in a couple days ago. We're heading down with our twin 4-year-olds for their first trip to Disney and our first official family vacation. So how awesome is that? First trip for the twins, first official family vacation. My questions are related to the nighttime shows. Our last night of our trip will be at the studios, and we currently have a Fantasmic dinner package. I really want our last night to be magical, and my concern is that at that point in the trip, my kids are going to be zonked, and I don't want our last memory to be stuck in crazy crowds getting out after the show with long bus lines. She's thinking ahead. I like this.
That's right.
Should we go for it to have a nice closeout to the trip and suck it up with the buses? Would we have a chance of getting a lift or minivan? Or should we just go over to the Polynesian and watch the Magic Kingdom fireworks with Dole Whips in hand? And as a bonus round question, making our way back to Wilderness Lodge after the Magic Kingdom fireworks, would you just wait for the boat or walk to the Contemporary and take the less crowded boat from there? Can you tell by now I'm looking to avoid transportation lines? Would love your thoughts that you all might have. Thanks so much and keep it up. Keep up what you're doing, Kristen. All right, so this is a really interesting question because, everything at Walt Disney World really is it's kind of a give or take situation, like you get the awesome fireworks show, but if you stay to see the fireworks show, especially if, like you say, you're at the Magic Kingdom and you want to get really close to the castle for Happily Ever After, then you're in the huge wave going out to the buses and you're waiting because the folks that waited at the train station, they got the good spots for the buses, but they sacrifice. Everything is give and take. So what would you do? It's their first trip. They got twins, 4-year-olds. She wants to close out the trip with a bang, and I like it, but what's the right answer here? And Chad, help us out too.
Oh my goodness. So personally, if I was looking to close it out with a bang, I would stay for the fireworks and then slowly meander my way out of the park. I know that you've got the 4-year-olds and everything, but if you can stop and maybe grab a snack, an ice cream or some popcorn and mosey your way out of the park, that would be what I would think would be a good way to do it. And then that would allow the crowds to die down a little bit. And I would probably just take the boat to the Wilderness Lodge instead of walking the Contemporary and then taking the boat from the Contemporary over there. I just wait in the line for the boat for the Wilderness Lodge. That way you're there. You don't have to make that extra trip in transportation. So I just mosey my way out and enjoy, the last few moments you have in the park. I mean, this is your last day, your last visit in the park. So I'm going to say, mosey your way out. That's just me.
And with that Fantasmic dining package you have over at the studios, I'm kind of confused. It sounds like you're going to be all over the place and you got one last night. But if you're doing that, it's seeing Fantasmic. Yes, there's going to be, that is like the biggest mass of humanity after Fantasmic. Yeah. But you asked if you have a chance of getting a minivan or a lift. Yeah, you absolutely do. I mean, they're going to, they want to service you. So yes, you order both obviously on the Lyft app, a regular Lyft transportation or a minivan. And you know what? You're trying to close out the trip, in a bang, get a minivan and it'll be there. It'll be fun. And the kids really get a kick out of that too. I get a kick out of it. So anyway. All right. Next listener question comes from Aaron Bernard. His question: if I'm going to Disney World for 6 park days and only plan on park hopping 1 day, it seems as though it would be cheaper to buy a 7-day ticket instead of a 6-day park hopper. Is that allowed? Am I missing something? I would even go as far as buying an 8-day ticket in case we decided while we were there to hop another day and it still seems cheaper. Aaron. Ricky, do you want to give Aaron the bad news or should I give Aaron the bad news? She's
Aaron,
smart.
I'm sorry. Unfortunately, this is not something you can do. Disney's on to this. So unfortunately, you cannot use 2 park days in 1 day. So you do have to purchase the park hopper option in order to be able to park hop, even if you're looking at park hopping just 1 day. So the park hopper option is definitely the cheaper way to go with that. So.
Yeah, Disney's thought of that, and it's like, oh man, I figured it out. I'm just going to buy an extra day because like 7 to 8 or 8 to 9, 9 to 10, especially, it's like dirt cheap. Like, I'll just get an extra day and use 2 days. No, they thought of it. They're pretty smart.
Yep.
Stinks.
Sorry.
I know. You tried though, and I told her right away. I emailed her back. So she wasn't waiting in limbo. But yeah, that's how it goes. Jill's got a question in the chat. Let's see what it says. Happy Monday. We're staying at French Quarter in November. I've never stepped foot on a deluxe resort, so we're going to plan a dinner on our off night. I'm thinking about either Ohana, Storybook Dining, or 1900 Park Fare. I have a 5-year-old son, so I'm not sure about Park Fare. Which would you recommend? Anything else? Thanks for your Disney wisdom. Love you guys. Really, when you can't pronounce the word wisdom, you really don't have much. I would just say it's been a day. All right. So let's see. So we're talking Storybook Dining, Ohana, 1900. You know what? Here's the thing. And Ricky, Phil, here's what I think about 1900 Park Fare over the Grand Floridian with the stepsisters and is Cinderella's there, right? Is she there too? Stepsisters are there because they kind of steal the show.
Yeah.
You know what? What I found, you just got really hot on your mic, is that I think young boys really do enjoy this meal, and they really make, you would think it's like for the girls, but really I've noticed that like the little boys, especially like 5, 6, 7 years old, they give them a lot of attention and they seem to roll out of there kind of liking it with like a little lipstick on the cheek. So it's not just for girls, but any of these would be great. But I say, don't discount 1900 Park Fare.
Yeah. I fixed my problem, by the way.
Next time you do it, so you don't kill my ear.
Sorry. So I really like 1900 Park Fare too. I think it's a great character meal. It's a lot of fun. And I think it would be a great thing even for a little boy. I mean, they really do dote on them a lot. So, while they're there. So I definitely think that it would be a great option for the family. I had fun when I was there. They doted on Brian a lot while we were there too. So I mean, those stepsisters are out for any man they can get. So.
They don't care. They'll take them away. You married? That's cool.
It's cool.
I'll take you anyway. We don't care. Yeah. You're 5 years old? Sweet. Come on. You're going to be my man.
Yes.
That's how it is. It's fun. Also just kind of a sleeper there in that Magic Kingdom area. Whispering Canyon Cafe. Ride the horses. You get to yell. Get to go steal ketchup. Be a ketchup thief.
That's true.
I would think about that too. And it's really good food. We got to stop doing this around dinner time.
I know.
All right, next up is Shannon. Hello, Mike. Hello from Virginia. Love the pod. You and your team have made the planning experience so helpful and so much fun. She has 3 questions. Number 1, my husband and I are staying at Art of Animation in June for 4 nights, per a friend's suggestion. This is our first Disney trip together. We're both so excited, obviously. You seem to really enjoy staying at Pop Century. If we switch from Art of Animation to Pop, will we save some money? We don't plan on staying at the hotel very much, just to sleep mostly, so we're considering switching hotels and using that money towards other fun things. What are your thoughts on this switch? All right, so Ricky, I'll give this one to you. So Pop Century, Art of Animation, obviously just separated by Hourglass Lake, both values, and I'm assuming they're staying in a Little Mermaid room. 2 people, I'm just guessing there. What do you say to that? Because you can save a few bucks by staying at Pop. What would you do?
I haven't actually stayed at Art of Animation because I would only stay in the Little Mermaid rooms, and there's really never any discounts in the Little Mermaid rooms, so I've never stayed there. But with all that being said, I do love Pop Century. I love the theme there. I think that they do a fantastic job. Honestly, if I was looking to save a little bit of money, I would potentially consider Pop Century. And if you wanted to experience Art of Animation, you can just walk over Hourglass Lake and head over there and see what Art of Animation is all about. Enjoy their awesome food court with Landscape of Flavors. So if it was about saving a little bit of money, I might consider staying at Pop Century over Art of Animation. I do love Pop so very much. So plus the rooms are refurbished over at Pop too, so that part's nice. They have not been refurbished at Art of Animation yet.
Yeah, right now I would say if you're going to save money, go to Pop because you can walk the grounds of both very easily. But the rooms are better at Pop Century than the Little Mermaid rooms. Plus, you don't have the Ariel shower curtain. Kind of, I'm saying it's a little scary.
Does that freak you out, Mike?
When you get up in the middle, Ariel's got huge eyes. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, I gotta cover those up. Like I could, you gotta go to the bathroom here, Ariel.
That's the eyes you're covering up.
It's weird. I'm just saying. Like it's the first thing I noticed about the room. It's strange.
I'm glad the eyes are freaking you out.
Like she's huge eyes. Like you're like the basketballs. It's like one of those things. You get stage fright. Number 2,
Jeez.
we have a bunch of great ADRs and fast passes. The only thing that would make our experience even more magical would be Toy Story Land early morning magic. Since I booked our trip 4 months ago, I've been trying to make online reservations and nothing is available. I called Disney and they just told me to keep trying to make the online reservation. That's all you really can do.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, no wait lists exist. I check multiple times a day for open slots and nothing seems to be moving. Do you think this could actually happen for us? I don't want to get my hopes up. Any other advice on this?
When is she going?
She's going June 4th in June. So, and just a little bit here. Here's what I would say to that. They gave you the right advice. I mean, these things, once they book up, it's a roll of the dice. Disney could put out additional slots because, hey, we can squeeze a couple dozen more people in there, make a little bit more money. You could catch a cancellation, but this is a hot ticket. And I don't know that these are refundable. So I would say you got a slight chance. There's always a chance, but I would say don't get your hopes up.
Yeah, they are not refundable. So once people bought them, they have them. So unless they open up extra, spots, which again, I kind of doubt. They seem to have a set number of slots available for these early morning hours. So once they're gone, they're gone. So I do apologize, but it seems like they probably are gone. Now you can consider the Disney After Hours event, which is not morning, but at least you'd still get to experience Toy Story Land without the large crowds. So that's an option for you. And I know that they have announced the Disney After Hours events for that time period. So, I know you're not getting the breakfast, but you get more time with Disney After Hours too. So that might be something to consider.
All right. Number 3 on our last day, we want to explore Disney Springs. We want to leave right from Disney Springs for the Sanford Airport to maximize our time. Is there a luggage holding area at Disney Springs? Pro tip, Disney Transportation does not run to Sanford, only MCO. Allegiant only flies in and out of Sanford. Thanks. Good luck to your daughter's cheer squad. That's right. We want to hear, remember, you just hit. I told Mallory I'm going to make a shirt, just like a dad shirt with like the silhouette of Mickey, and in the middle, it's just going to say, I just hit, because that means you did a perfect routine. Like after every podcast, if it's like a really good one, which we don't get it,
No, we don't do those. We don't do good ones.
We never hit really. We always have deductions. I've already had like 6 today.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, if all the podcasting gods were looking down on us, Pam was here, you were here, we got the levels right. We've already screwed up the levels.
We already screwed those up. Yeah.
I've already mispronounced like 7 words. We've probably given a little bad advice. So I really couldn't do this. But if it all came together one day, like at the end of the show, I could just pop out the shirt I just hit, and then you could too, and Pam could too. That'd be cool. Anyway, I don't think they can store the luggage at Disney Springs. I would say leave it at your hotel. Mm-hmm. I know you want to leave directly from there, but I mean, you also don't want to carry around your bags. I don't think there's a place to drop your luggage.
Unfortunately, there is not. So you either carry it around with you, which is not the best idea, or you're going to have to head back to your resort, let the resort take the luggage and then head back to the resort to pick it up on the way back. If you are worried about taking a while waiting for a bus or whatever, you could always Uber back to your resort or minivan, which might be an option for you there too. Unfortunately, Disney does not do Magical Express from Sanford. Only the Orlando International Airport. So sorry about that too. Yeah.
I guess find that out the hard way. Like, can you make it? Oh, you're at Sanford. Yes, we have to work things out. Yeah. I mean, you can get good deals, but I mean, you got to look at it. Like, for example, I'm going down tonight. Can't use Magical Express because we're staying at the B. And so I'm like going to have to Uber. Going to cost me money. I'm not going to use their weak bus service over at the B. I'm going to have to Uber all the time. Costing me dough. For one thing, the room's more expensive than a value. Costing me dough. I'm not excited. But I had to stand back. I'm just a passenger. I'm not in charge of this trip. It's a group thing. So I didn't want to embarrass Mallory, but it's a mess. We'll see.
Sorry.
It's going to be fine. It's what you make it. So
that's right.
It's going to cost
I'm going to love finding out that you absolutely love the bee.
No, you're not going to find that out.
You're going to share on your Instagram. Guess what? The bee's not so bad.
No, I've already figured out my running path. I've looked on Google Earth. I'm going to run from down Hotel Plaza Boulevard over to Disney Springs, through the Cirque du Soleil big parking lot, and there's a path that takes you over to Old Key West. That's my loop.
Jeff, I like your staying at Grand Cypress, by the way. That is my favorite resort, partially because it's a Hyatt. So good job there.
I was trying to be proud of you.
Yes, you would.
William's got a question in the chat. Hey, Mike and Ricky, quick question. We love quick questions. Would you recommend Keys to the Kingdom tour or Behind the Magic? Price isn't a worry as much as keeping my wife happy. It's our anniversary trip without the kiddo. Thanks.
Oh.
Yeah, I say Keys to the Kingdom is incredible. I've done it twice. I love it. A great tour.
Behind the Magic is the 7-hour long one though, right? So
it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Time, I guess.
So here's what I'm going to say. It depends on how much of a Disney nerd your wife is. If your wife is a Disney nerd, then absolutely go for the Behind the Magic tour, because I think I haven't taken that one yet. That's like the ultimate Mecca tour. I mean, you go to all the different parks. You get to see, rivers. I think you get to see like preview part something with Rivers of Light. Now they just added that too, and have lunch at Tiffin's on the backstage magic tour. So I say go with that one, even though I've done Keys to the Kingdom and I think it's a fantastic tour, and it does allow for you to do extra things in the afternoon, evening, versus with the backstage magic, since it is 7 hours, you can only do stuff in the evening. But I still say the backstage magic is the better option if she's a Disney nerd.
I agree. And you know what, though? You mentioned the characters coming to Rivers of Light. I was listening to you Monday morning, first thing on my run at like 5 a.m. You're talking with Matt, on Woodway over there, doing a little update of the news. And you guys were joking like, they're going to add characters to Rivers of Light. That's going to happen someday. Yeah.
I know. I was so mad.
You guys got Be Our Guest podcasting, because I was like, I don't know when we're recording it. It is happening.
No, I know. We recorded it on Sunday of last week, and I was like, oh yeah, no, the ha ha ha. Yeah, no. You know what? I said that to somebody as soon as it happened. I was like, I literally just talked about this with somebody, and I was like, I'm pretty sure it was on Woodway, and I was like, oh God, of course I did. Of course
I caught it. I was like, it's not just us that happens too.
No, it's not just us.
It's a Ricky thing. It's wherever Ricky goes.
Exactly. Wherever I go, if I say something that seems like completely impossible, it's gonna happen.
All right, Shelby's got a question. Best way to get from Animal Kingdom Lodge to the Polynesian for breakfast at Kona Cafe? Thinking bus to the Magic Kingdom, then boat to the Poly, but maybe there's that's too much early in the morning. Uber. That's what I would do. Yeah, I mean, if you don't mind Uber, but yeah, if you're going to use Disney transportation, that's the way to go. But it's just resort to resort. Ubers are so easy, and it's like you're talking like $7. But again, I'm going to be Ubering all over God's creation for 6 days. I'm going to have like $1,000 Uber bill, $7 at a time. I'm not looking forward to this.
No.
All right. Next, Mr. Breeze got a question. Hey guys, what's your recommendation for watching fireworks from the Polynesian in late May? Best spot to sit, arrival, etc. Are you able to weasel your way into the Polynesian to watch fireworks still, Ricky? I know they were closed. I think that might have been just around 4th of July. They're really, really cranking down.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was really for 4th of July and probably New Year's Eve that they cracked down. But yeah, every other day. I mean, you should be just fine. So, yeah. And
apparently Jeff works for the Hyatt.
I saw that. That's awesome, Jeff. I just messaged you, so I literally just messaged you about this. So.
This is like a Hyatt employee benefit show or something.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Next question. Let's see. We're going down to Little Rock, Arkansas. Callie B's got a question. Hey, BOGP crew. It's titled Resort Adventures. My mother, brother, and I are going to Walt Disney World July 23rd to the 28th. We're not going to a park that day that we get there, and we're using the free quick service dining plan. Yay, free. You put that, I didn't say. I don't just add those kind of comments, but yeah. We've been to Walt Disney World a few times, but haven't spent too much time exploring the resorts. The night we get there, we're wanting to eat at Gasparilla's to see the electrical water pageant, then head over to Trader Sam's. Number one, what's the best thing to eat at Gasparilla, and will it be a good place to see the pageant? You know what? That's one of the places I have FOMO. I've never been there.
Really?
3028. Yeah, I've never been to Gasparilla's. Have you? I've gone to Grand Floridian Cafe a few times.
No, I've definitely been to Gasparilla's. I usually go there for breakfast because it's when I stay with Florence, and so I'm usually there for breakfast time. They have really good tater tots. Just throwing that out there. At breakfast.
You just told me. You just got my heart going.
I know. They have good tater tots. Now the one thing is as far as like actual meals go, I kind of feel like it's a little iffy. Sometimes I feel like they have good things. Sometimes I feel like they don't. They change their menu kind of frequently. So they have a lot of sandwiches, which I am not a huge sandwich eater. Like I've had this conversation with people before. Like sandwiches just really aren't my thing. And when a menu has like a ton of sandwiches on it, like it really like turns me off immediately. And I'm like, I don't see anything on the menu. But they do have some interesting things like the chicken and brie, which I'm assuming is a sandwich because it's served on a brioche bun. So that sounds really good. They have a grilled vegetable sandwich with prosciutto, and I'm always a fan of prosciutto. They have
do they have a charcuterie?
They do not. No. They do have some pizzas, some different pizzas, like a chicken and mushroom pizza and a fire roasted tomatoes and basil pesto pizza, which sounds pretty good. But we've had this conversation before, Mike, where I really feel like the deluxe resorts, their food court option or their quick service options just aren't great.
Oh, I've been to Gasparillas. That's just a little
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a snack thing. It's an actual like counter service restaurant. And I like, and I feel like personally, I don't love Gasparillas.
Me neither. Me neither. I'm with you. You know what? I would just grab dinner at Grand Floridian Cafe. It's a table service, but it's not super expensive, and they have lots of good food.
Even I think Contempo Cafe may have better options than Gasparilla does for dinner.
Cooks. That's
Captain Cook's. I would go to any of those places, I think, over Gasparilla. And I'm sorry to say that because like I feel like Gasparilla is good for like quick grab and go items. Maybe I don't even like, here's what disappoints me about them. They don't even have really good like pastry items. Like I want to go in there late at night and grab like a snack to take back to my room. I don't even feel like they have really good options for that. Like their case is so tiny. So honestly, like I hate to say it, but Gasparillas really isn't my favorite. I'll go for breakfast. Breakfast is fine. But that's because, how much can you screw up Mickey waffles and, there's a standard option there of Mickey waffles like that and a croissant sandwich. Like that's fine. But yeah, I would go somewhere else for dinner. Just going to be honest. Yeah.
All right. Second question. What are some good drinks for my 18-year-old brother to get at Trader Sam's? Thanks for all you guys do. You make the time in between Disney trips go by faster. Sending magic from North Little Rock, Arkansas. Is the drinking age in Little Rock 18? It's 21 in Florida. I'm just guessing you would get the virgin versions of these drinks, but they, you just look at the menu.
I'm going to say the backside of water. No, they do have.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's it.
They do have some no booze brews. So don't worry if you are going with someone who doesn't drink for any reason, whether it's underage or they just choose not to, like I do. They have the Skipper Sipper, which is tropical juices, organic agave nectar, something that starts with an F, falernum. I don't know what that is. Mint and fresh lime juice topped with soda water. They have the Schweitzer Falls, which is tropical juices, and Sam's Gorilla Grog topped with Sprite, and then the Polynesian Punch, which is Sam's Gorilla Grog and hibiscus grenadine served in a souvenir cup. So those are your options for non-alcoholic drinks, or the backside of water, like I said.
Or the front side of water. It's the same thing.
I mean, yeah.
or the front side of a Diet Coke Zero. Yeah, so there you go. All right, Becky's got a question. Best option for accommodations for a summer 2021 trip for 6 or possibly 7 adults. I'm thinking our best bet might be a 2-bedroom villa at Old Key West, but I'm wondering if it might be worth it getting 2 rooms at Coronado or another moderate. Thanks. All right, Becky, let me tell you this. I've done both of those with my friends, the Gardners. They have a family of 3. We got a family of 4. We stayed at Old Key West a few years back in a 2-bedroom, and it was one of the absolute best trips we ever had. It was so fun because what it was, we had accommodations. We had a room for everybody. I mean, the 2-bedroom at Old Key West is way bigger than my house, and we don't have a big house. Let me just tell you right now, we're getting ready to move. So hopefully we do get a bigger one someday, but we have a tiny little Cracker Jack house. But the thing was, it was huge. Like we could play hide and seek and not find each other in this thing. It was gigantic, and Old Key West is a great resort. But the thing was, it was like staying in somebody's house on vacation. We made breakfast. We made cinnamon rolls. We Amazon Primed all kinds of stuff we could bake. We made chocolate chip cookies and ate them out on the terrace overlooking the green on the golf course.
Oh, you're making me hungry, man.
Oh my God, it was so fun. Coronado's great, but it's going to be more of like your hotel room. If you really want to make something special, 2-bedroom at Old Key West, that's what I would say. Ricky, any thoughts on it? Of course, you got a long time before you can book this, but I love Old Key West.
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's good. Now, of course, you want to make sure that you can stand being with those people for a long period of time, which is always kind of like the test on vacation. I mean, you have to really know that you like hanging out with people all the time, because I've gone on vacations with people, not to Disney, but other places where I was glad I had a separate room.
Yeah, that's a great point, though. I mean, really, because the two-bedroom villa, obviously the bedrooms have, rooms, there's 2 bathrooms. So you don't really have to you're not on top of each other at all.
Right.
But you are in the same unit.
Yes. So it just depends on how much you like each other, how much time you are okay spending with each other. And I think that that's your answer. If you're cool, then, DVC it up, baby. That's fine. But if you think that maybe you might want some separation, for any reason whatsoever, then you might want to do the 2 separate rooms. That's a moderate.
All right, let's get a question here from Rachel. She says, hey guys, so happy to finally make a live show. It's rather late in the United Kingdom. Thanks for staying up late with us.
Yes, it is late in the UK. Trust me, I know.
We're radio today. All right, she says she's staying at the Hilton by Disney Springs in a few weeks, and I have a lot of Hilton points, so it's practically free. I usually stay on site. I'm wondering if I walk across to the Springs, can I take a bus to the parks, or are there restrictions early morning? I've read their buses aren't regular. Thanks. Love the podcast. Okay, so here's what I'm hearing, because I'm in the exact same situation today, tonight, tomorrow. They're telling us that we can walk to Disney Springs and take a bus to all the parks. That is what the cheerleading. I mean, I have said no. They don't. No. But the gym is saying that it has changed, and that's what they're telling everybody.
No.
Disney Springs. I'm taking Ubers. But
no, it is. So it is true. After
4 o'clock, I thought. But no, is it the reverse though, that you can take? I know they don't want you to park at Disney Springs and ride a bus into the parks. That's the whole point, because you get around parking.
Right.
Which makes sense. That's why I think you can't take a bus from Disney Springs to a theme park.
But I think
they start running backwards though from the theme parks to Disney Springs, like at 3 or 4, they want you to go shop and eat and stuff.
That's true. Oh no, I think that runs all day, but I think it's to the parks. Oh man, now I'm second guessing myself. See, look what you did to me. Yes.
I know, me too. I mean, because I'm just going to Uber, because I'm not going to,
Mike, here's the deal. You go find out for me this weekend and report back. I think that sounds like a good idea.
Watch my Twitter. I'll let you know.
You'll be able to find out, because I'm sure you'll go to Disney Springs. I mean, you'll be so close. So you can look for the bus sign and just see if it says, parks, and then if it says a certain time. So.
Sure. I'll be hot on this week. So
I know. I'm pretty sure if it's true, it's after 4.
That's what I thought too. But I'm telling you, man, they've been saying for months.
Yeah, no, that's definitely not true.
I'm like, I don't think so.
That's not true. I mean,
people would park there, fill up the garages, and never, pay to park.
Yes, that's true. So Rachel says that she's heard she can't take buses until before 4 too. So I just can't remember.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm like, am I missing something? Like I do this.
No, you're not missing something. They're completely a misunderstanding. You can do it. It's just after 4. Yeah.
You just hit.
Yeah. Anyway. No.
Carolyn says, I just booked I got to get off that, because that's getting me more fired up about
sorry.
No magical I may as well be flying out of Sanford. No magical
You're gonna be fine. Rent a car.
Oh, hang on, my Apple Watch is telling me my blood pressure's elevated.
Yeah. Rent a car, Mike. That way you
won't have. I'm paying to park the stupid thing every night. That irks me. I'm paying for the car. I'm paying for a spot.
You can get a really cheap deal on Alamo if you're an insider. Or you can use an annual pass discount with Alamo, because they're a sponsor.
I'm just going to rent a Lime scooter and just drive that sucker everywhere.
I'm just saying, it might be cheaper than the Ubers.
You know what?
I get really cheap rates with Alamo.
I'll probably find my old inline speed skates and just use those the whole week.
Especially the day or 2 before. I always check it again the day or 2 before, and I get ridiculously cheap rates. Check it. Just check it. Okay.
You gotta pay to park the sucker. I
understand that, but it would probably still be cheaper than having to take Ubers back and forth.
I'm from Missouri, man. You should never pay to park your car. I'm not from Missouri.
Oh, you definitely are from Atlanta then. That's funny.
The Cardinals game.
Anyway, I had to go to the hospital a couple days ago, so don't even. Yeah.
All right. So Carolyn says she booked the keys to the kingdom, but have received no confirmation, and it's not showing up on My Disney Experience. Well, I need something to show the tour guide. You should have a confirmation number, right? I mean, when they give you a confirmation number every time.
Yeah, when you book it, they should have given you a confirmation number, at least over the phone. Or if you did it online, I would assume that you would get a confirmation number in the email. Just call Disney and say, hey, I just want to double check on this, and say, I don't have a confirmation number, but I'm looking to grab one. It wouldn't be in your My Disney Experience though, because I've done the Keys to the Kingdom since My Disney Experience has come into play, and it was not in my app. So, but yeah, I would definitely just call them and say, hey, I just need a confirmation number because I don't have it. So that would be what
all right. Let's get to the last question of the day, going all the way out to Hawaii. My good friend George Shaka, who I'm going to see on the podcast cruise here very, very shortly. He says he actually has a trip planning question, trying to decide which park to visit on our first day and first visit to Walt Disney World.
Wait. It's George's first visit to Walt Disney World?
Yeah, I know. And now also pre-podcast cruise. I know.
No way. I swore George had been to Walt Disney World before. George, I'm shocked. Right here. This is shock face.
Yeah. Hang on, we're losing your connection again. You're locking up.
Uh-oh.
You back? Hang on.
Yeah.
Okay. Your video's frozen. Like you're just not getting enough bandwidth again. This happened on the Wedway show too a couple times. I noticed.
I'm legit plugged in. I don't understand.
Okay, so we'll get it. Hang on. So 32.
And nothing has changed. I didn't do anything different.
You must be on a shared line or something. People are trying to watch Game of Thrones or something.
Probably, yeah.
All right, so let's see here. We get into Orlando at 7 a.m. after traveling approximately 12 hours and overnight from Hawaii, looking for a park pick that won't be too taxing and to make it an early evening suggestions. All right, so you're traveling all day, getting there at 7 a.m. after a long red eye. Ricky, what say you in that case?
If you're looking to go to a park, I would say just Hollywood Studios at that point. Either that or Disney's Animal Kingdom, but I think the Studios is going to be the better option of the two. Yeah. I mean, there is Epcot too, isn't it? I just wouldn't do Magic Kingdom, let's put it that way. And I know he's been to like Disneyland before, so Epcot would be kind of, all three would be new to him. So, but I still think I'd go with Hollywood Studios just because of the nature of, wanting to get out early and stuff like that. So, yeah.
You there? Sorry.
Yeah, I'm here. Really?
Yep. Hang on.
That's so bizarre. I didn't change anything. I'm hardwired in.
Are you on your backup computer?
No, I'm on my regular one. I got my new one back. I got mine back.
I don't know. All right, I'll close it out because I got you. Well, here, let me put my stuff in.
Okay.
I think the temptation there is going to be to go to the Magic Kingdom because it's your first time at Walt Disney World, and I totally see that. Like, you want to go to the Magic Kingdom, you want to see the castle, you want to experience kind of the mecca of the resort. But I think Ricky's right that, just go explore the studios, even Epcot, because you could go back and World Showcase. You're not behind, you don't have lines, stuff like that, and just take it in and then, rest up, go to bed 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening if you have to, get a full night's sleep, and then head to the Magic Kingdom that next day is what I would say. So can't wait to see you, buddy. It's going to be fun. All right, well, that's going to do it for today's show. Don't forget, we've got great listener questions each and every Wednesday. So if you want to have your question on the show, email that to mike@beourguestpodcast.com, and we'll get to that right away. Today's show brought to you by our friends over at virtualmickey.com, home of great iPhone apps like Theme Park News, Disney Edition. And let me just check here. I'm going to pop up my app and see what is going on with Theme Park News, Disney Edition. I did this a couple weeks ago, and it was kind of fun. I like that you always get a Walt Disney quote when you pop it open. So there you go. We got a quote. Oh, we're talking about the 30th anniversary of Disney's Hollywood Studios. They're going to have a live broadcast today, May 1st, on the Parks blog. So make sure you check that out. You're getting new information on the Wonderful World of Animation projection show. Top 10 magic shots at Disney's Animal Kingdom. You just get lots of good stuff. It's better than reading the cereal box every morning. And it's a free iOS app. So check it out today over at virtualmickey.com. Again, thanks to everybody who supports the show with our Amazon affiliate link. It's at beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. We get a little commission with each purchase, and it really does help go towards the bandwidth and hosting. So thank you so much to everybody who uses that. Bookmark it on your devices, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And of course, you want to follow me down on the social media, Instagram and Twitter at BeOurGuestMike and at BeOurGuestPod. And I'll be posting to the Facebook page, facebook.com/BeOurGuestPodcast. All right, we're going to be back again on Friday with a great Disney show to get that weekend kicked off. with Disney Talk. Ricky will be joining me. So until then, for Pam and Ricky, I'm Mike. Wish you a great Wednesday. Time to head back to work, and we'll see you real soon. All right, let me save that one.
Am I here?
You're still breaking up super bad.
Let me log out and then so
good idea. Okay. Yeah. Everybody in the chat, hang tight because we're gonna do another listener question show. So just hang tight. That was a little shorter because we got to get ahead for my trip. So just please hang tight for 1 second. I'm gonna edit that one up real quick. 33 minutes or so. Get to hear the exciting editing. Traveling approximately 12 hours and overnight from Hawaii, looking for a park pick that won't be too taxing and to make it an early evening suggestions. All right, so you're traveling all day, getting there at 7 a.m. after a long red eye. Ricky, what say you in that case?
If you're looking to go to a park, I would say just Hollywood Studios at that point. Either that or Disney's Animal Kingdom, but I think the Studios is going to, yeah. I mean, there is Epcot too, isn't it? I just wouldn't do Magic Kingdom, let's put it that way. And I know he's been to like Disneyland before, so Epcot would be wouldn't do Magic Kingdom, let's put it that way.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm here. Really?
Yep. Hang on.
Okay.
Are you on your backup computer?
No, I'm on my regular one. I got my new one back. I got mine back.
I don't know.
I just wouldn't do Magic Kingdom, let's put it that way.
I think the temptation there is going to be to go to the Magic Kingdom because it's your first time at Walt Disney World, and I totally see that. Like, you want to go to the Magic Kingdom, you want to see the castle, you want to experience kind of the mecca of 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening. If you have to, can't wait to see you, buddy. It's going to be fun. Today's show. Don't forget, we've got great listener questions each.
George had been to Walt Disney World before. George, I'm shocked to hear this.
Isn't that awesome?
What?
Pre-podcast cruise. I know.
No way. I swore George had been to Walt Disney World before.
Oh.
No way. I swore George had been to Walt Disney World before. George, I'm shocked.
To Walt Disney World. We get into Orlando.
Wait. It's George's first visit to Walt Disney World?
Yeah, I know. Isn't that awesome?
What?
Hang on, we're losing your connection. This happened on the Wedway show too a couple times, I noticed.
I'm legit plugged in and nothing has changed. I didn't do anything different.
You must be on a show. We get into Orlando at 7 a.m. very shortly. He says he actually has a trip planning question. Trying to decide which park to visit on our first day and first visit to Walt Disney World. We get into Orlando.
Wait. It's George's first visit to Walt Disney World?
Yeah, I know. Isn't that awesome?
What?
First day and first visit to Walt Disney World. We get into Orlando at 7 a.m. after traveling approximately 12 hours and overnight from Hawaii, looking for a park pick that won't. Save this one real quick. File, save this. Okay, Rick should be back any second. She just texted me, I bet you. That was her. Oh, gotta send her the link. Copy the link. And now hit an email. Boom. Boom. And we're getting started here in just a second. Boom. Missing link. Ricky will be back. Alrighty, I'll get to these other questions. Yeah, I would call on that Keys to the Kingdom confirmation just to get the number. They can give it to you by your name because you're gonna need that. Is Disneyland doable in 2.5 days? I would say yes, and so does George, even though I've never been there, just from what I've heard. Which one's Buena Vista Palace? I have no idea. I'm so scared to not stay on site. Best pool for adults. Yacht and Beach.
Okay, I'm back.
Oh, you're breaking up again.
Really?
No, just kidding.
Oh. Don't do that.
Oh, no. So here's the thing. Okay, so that's this Wednesday.
Yes.
I'd like to do 2 more if we can. What do you want to do for Friday though? What would be like a fun Friday show?
Well, let's put it to the group here. Let's see if anybody has a fun topic that they want us to discuss a little bit more. I was thinking that while we were doing the show, so I was thinking we put it up to them and see kind of.
Yes, put it in the chat for everybody that's here because you hung out while Ricky rebooted.
That's right.
What we'll do is we'll record the question show.
Yes.
Now, and we'll do more questions, and then throw something in there, and we'll pick one.
Yes.
So you get to pick.
So
Friday.
you guys get to pick the Friday show for this week. So
there you go. Only if it's a good idea, though.
Only if it's a good idea.
I'm just trying to look because I missed a lot of comments. George, go to Epcot or just avoid the Magic Kingdom is what we said, but you'll hear it on the thing. We had to edit it up. So Ricky did turn off and yep, you were right on the right track, George. I'm just trying to catch up to the
No, you're fine.
You typing.
Yeah, I sent you messages.
Yep.
I said send me the link again.
Okay, so Jeff's got a question about the after hours party. Okay, we can do that. We got that one about the drinks for the 18-year-old down in Arkansas. I could say Arkansas stuff, but I won't just because they're a rival in football. All right. Well, we got a question that's talking about Kelly Bryant under center for Mizzou. I like that. All right. Let me do that. Okay, here we go. So this one would be, I got to write this down. So that's 1480. 81's already in the can. So this would be 1482. This will be when I'm back. Sad, but I'll be busy. And I won't be able to record because I won't be here Monday. All right, here we go. Welcome to episode 1482 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Wednesday to you. Yes, I am back from Walt Disney World, and I am sure that I am full of countless tales of how staying kind of on-site, kind of off-site goes.
Yes.
We're recording this one a little bit before I leave so that we have another week's buffer in case I'm raging. I don't know if I will be. I'm thinking it's going to be awesome. Maybe we're coming home with a 4-foot trophy. Her squad won summit, and it's who cares? I stayed in a tent, over off of I-4. It could be that. But we're going to get a review of the B Hotel and what it's like to stay so close to Walt Disney World. And we're going to have a good time with it. So, again, recording early. So this one's out there because I'm not back on normal recording days. So we're going to answer your list of questions. And we'll have a full trip report heading your way very soon. So joining me today to answer your list of questions, we have Ricky from DisneyWorldAfterAll.com, touringplans.com, and the Mouse for Less. Happy Wednesday, Ricky. What's going on?
Happy Wednesday. I feel like I'm in Winnie the Pooh and they're saying, Happy Wednesday. The scene, you all know the scene I'm talking about, right?
Never seen it.
No, the attraction.
Oh yeah, like it's a blustery day in the wood. Yes.
Happy Wednesday. So yeah, it's a blustery day.
Question on that ride. Is that one room supposed to freak you out like you're on drugs or something? I don't know. I don't get that. All the bright colors and the mirrors. I've never done illegal drugs. I'm not kidding. Raise my right hand because I'm, I grew up Baptist. But the thing is,
that means you haven't done them? What?
I'm just saying, you know what? I don't know. Maybe I have because I've been on that attraction. It feels like that's what, because I watch a lot of live PD and it feels like the people that are wigged out, they're taken away. That's what it would feel like, that one room.
So you are actually supposed to be dreaming. So that is why you're seeing all the kind of hallucinations. This is because you're dreaming. So, okay. Yes, okay. You are dreaming while on honey. So let's just go with that.
I guess. All right. So Jeff's got a question live here in our chat at facebook.com/BeOurGuestPodcast. And we love the folks who spend some time with us during our live shows. He says, how's the Animal Kingdom after hours party? Well, my girlfriend to see Pandora, so I bought those tickets. I haven't done after hours events. I'm an old fogey. I like to go to bed, but I'm still not going to do it this summer. I know a lot of people probably will. Here's my thing on the after hours parties. I think they're incredible. I love the idea that it's small crowds, cooler weather, especially over the summer. You get, little snacks and little goodies. But my thing is, it just kills me because I have an annual pass.
Right.
So I can get in the park all day long. I know there's more people. It's hotter. It's not as great. But man, I hate to fork down another 140 or so bucks to get into a park that I could get in, basically I've already covered during the day. That's kind of how I see it. So, but I'm hearing good reviews. Everybody that goes loves them, especially Mark Yerkes. He tells me about them all the time. So what do you think?
Yeah, I think for people like us who have annual passes, the appeal of a Disney After Hours event isn't as great because we can kind of go more frequently. So, if we miss Pandora attractions, like we don't feel like we're missing anything. But for someone who maybe doesn't get to go as often as we do, since they don't have annual passes, I can see where this would be a big help. Having the ability to do these after hours events, like I've heard before, they are pretty much empty. The attractions have very small wait times, minus of course maybe Avatar Flight of Passage. But they still, it's much better than it would be if you were going on a normal day without the after hours event. So, but you do have the ability to ride some of the other attractions as well, so I don't know. I see the appeal of it. I do think they're pretty costly. But if it's the ways to be able to see these attractions and especially in the summer when it is cooler, I say if it sounds like something you want to do, then absolutely you should spend the money and do it. And plus it's all the popcorn and Mickey ice cream bars you can eat. So I'm bottled beverages. So like I'm tossing those beverages in my bag, man. Let's go. I'm bringing up a huge bag so I can put my popcorn in and just dump it in and go, okay, fill it up again. Give me more.
It's kind of like Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party.
Exactly. I'm bringing my own bag for the treats, man. And I do too. Like I don't want that little chintzy bag they give me. I want my own bag that I can fill up and yeah. So anyway.
Absolutely. All right. Megan's got a question. She was asking, they're going on an adults only trip. She's looking for the best pool at a deluxe resort. Now, obviously, everybody's going to say, and I agree, it's why we're staying there over the 4th of July. Yacht and Beach Club with Stormalong Bay. Let's exclude that. We've been to most of the deluxe pools. I will say there's a close running with, God, they all have great pools, though. I really enjoy the Polynesians pool. It's got a fun slide. I also really enjoy the boardwalk pool. It's got like a roller coaster.
That's just because it's got the clown that you get spit out of.
Yeah. Cool. Like the bar looks like a carousel.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of chairs on the deck. Trying to think, but Animal Kingdom Lodge's feature pool is pretty sweet. I mean, Wilderness Lodge has a great pool. I love that pool. It's really nice because it's like the horseshoe around the pool there. Lots to see. They got the geyser going off. You can't go wrong. But I mean, obviously, Stormalong Bay, right?
Yeah, Stormalong Bay for sure. I mean, definitely. But I think Polynesian is another good choice. Yeah.
All righty. So somebody said the 100-acre woods caught on fire, the real life one.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Okay. So there you go. Next question says, Mickey beignets? Yes, please. It's from Michael. Good evening, BOGP crew. I got to say, you guys are the best. I look forward to the episodes each week, and you never disappoint. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ricky's internet's giving us a little headache today, but we'll work through. We're making our annual summer trip in late July this year. We're DVC owners, and we're staying at the Grand Floridian. Those are your people, Ricky. That's what you do. You're not an owner, but you tend to stay there on DVC points.
Yeah.
So one of the days during our trip, we are going to eat breakfast at Trattoria Al Forno at 7:40 and then want to explore Port Orleans. We've never been to that property, and we're trying to do new things each time we go. Obviously, we're going to have to check out the Mickey beignets while we're there. My question is, what's the best way to get there at, say, 8:30 to 9 a.m.? I'm assuming we can't drive over, and I wasn't sure if Disney Springs was an option that early. Any help is greatly appreciated. Thanks for all you do. And P.S. Mike, I'm cheering for your Mizzou Tigers this year with Kelly Bryant potentially under center. I'm a diehard Clemson fan and hated to see him leave, but I'm looking forward to watching him in another uniform. Go Tigers, both of them. And we are very excited to have Kelly Bryant. So hopefully it'll be a good year in Como. All right, so going from Trattoria El Forno over to Port Orleans. Yes, you do need to get the beignets. They're awesome. There's also a really good you're going to have breakfast at Trattoria El Forno, but they have a great breakfast sandwich there too. What would you say, Ricky, to get there from the boardwalk over to Port Orleans area? How would you go?
Well, they said something about not being able to drive a car.
No, you can drive totally. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. If they have their car, then I would just drive over there. Just tell them you're coming for Mickey beignets, and they'll more than likely gladly let you in. So, yeah, I would think that they would have zero problem with that. Other than that, I don't know. I don't know what time. I know that they do offer like breakfast at Disney Springs at some places, so they might have the boats running that early. So if you wanted to park at Disney Springs, you or take your bus to Disney Springs and then take a boat to Port Orleans. I mean, that's an option too. Or there's a minivan option, or Uber. So there are plenty of ways to get over there.
I don't think the boats start running until about 11.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I think that's the case. I just drive. I mean, shoot, you're going over there to spend money on beignets. They're gonna let you in.
Yep.
Beignets. All right, next we're heading to Marietta, Georgia, down in your neck of the woods.
Hey.
Question. She says, annual pass upgrade help. Hi, Mike and BOGP crew. My husband and I are headed down in October for a belated anniversary celebration. Thanks for help booking, Mike. Thank you so much. I have a couple of questions about upgrading our ticket to an annual pass. We have a 10-day hopper booked with our package and would like to upgrade this to an annual pass at some point during the trip. Hopefully these are quick and easy questions for you. Number one, can we do this at the resort or does it have to be at Disney Springs or a park? Okay, let me give you this answer. It's always been Disney Springs or a park. However, I've had people tell me they've been doing this at the resorts in the last, say, 3 months.
Interesting.
I see no reason why it really couldn't be done at the resorts. They always say, oh, our systems don't talk to each other. I mean, my God, with Disney, a room only and a package are like two different systems and they can't talk to each other. Like that is the most annoying thing ever, but it's how it's always been. So it's one of those things like, seriously, but that's rules. I would ask at your resort because if they can do it, bingo, you're done. But it's always been just Disney Springs or at a park. And I've done it at Disney Springs the last couple of times. And it's great because they have a really large kind of guest relations area where you can do it. They have like lemon water. They got couches to sit on and they have a lot of cast members in there. So that's what I like.
However,
go ahead.
Disney Springs did just change. So you can't go to the Welcome Center anymore for ticket changes. They actually have a Disney Ticket Center at Disney Springs now that they just opened up. So that's to kind of alleviate some of the pressure I think that they were feeling at the Welcome Center because I feel like they were just getting hit by a lot of people there. So there's a new ticket center that you can go to for ticket questions and things like that. So that may be an option for you. But you know what? It never hurts to try and ask at the resort. And then if they tell you no, then you can head over to one of the parks or Disney Springs for that.
All right. She says, do we have to do this the first day we arrive? If the lines are long, I'd rather skip doing the upgrade and do it whenever it's convenient. Okay. So you can do it anytime during the trip because what's going to happen is your annual pass is going to start the day the package started. So that, you can't be like, I used to think I'm going to be sneaky and like upgrade my pass on the 9th day and get, it's going to start then and I'm going to get 9 free days. First of all, you're probably not going to use those days unless you're, really lucky with how your trips are going the next year. But no, it goes back to the first. And I would do it day one. And here's why. Your memory maker is going to kick in immediately. And more importantly, you're going to immediately get your opportunity with your little AP card to get your dining discounts and your merchandise discounts immediately. So that can save you, over a week, maybe $100, depending on what you buy. I mean, I would do it immediately, right, Ricky?
Yeah, I mean, I would absolutely take the time to do it just when you get to the park. It shouldn't take that long. I've done, because I have to get in line when I get my annual pass renewed a lot of times because they have to give me a new card. So I still have to go to the, ticket kiosk myself, just to get that taken care of. So it doesn't take me long when I have to do that. So I would just do it first thing when you get to the park or Disney Springs.
Yep, I agree. And it's just 3. If we wait a few days into the trip, when does Memory Maker kick in? We will not have access to those. Will we not have access to those first few days of pictures? Thanks so much for all you do. Go Lizards, Courtney. So what's going to happen is when you get you're still going to have all your pictures. What's going to happen is they're going to be watermarked.
Yeah.
As soon as you get an annual pass, boom, the watermark disappears and you got all your pictures. So that does not matter. That's not an issue at all. But I mean, if you want to share them immediately, like I do, get it, just do it. I mean, I know it might take you a few minutes, but guess what? You're going to have the glow of being an annual pass holder.
That's true.
You're going to be like, oh, it's so cool.
It is.
It's like always my dream. Like I couldn't believe the first time I got one. I was like, I have an annual pass to Walt.
I know.
Not believe it. I'm living my best life, as they say, as the kids say. All right. Allison's got a question. She is from St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey, I've heard of that place.
Right. Home of the first place Cardinals, hopefully still. Hi, Mike, Pam, and Ricky. You've given me some great advice before, so I'm hoping you can help me out. I like to run, although not as much as Mike. Well, who does? I'm like Forrest Gump.
Yeah, he's crazy.
I shouldn't run this much.
No.
We're staying at the Contemporary Resort this June for 6 nights. I like to run in the morning, so I noticed the Contemporary's trail is only about 1 mile or so. I'd like to find a route that's about 3 to 5 miles. Is there any place I can run by the Contemporary? I wasn't sure if you could run on the road or if you could run on the walkway to the Magic Kingdom. I can't really find any good maps to show a route. I would appreciate any advice you have. Thanks, Allison. All right. So you do not want to run on that road.
No.
You'll get killed. Do not, like, even during the marathon, that road scares me that I'm going to get run over by the 28,000 other runners that are going faster than me down under the water bridge. So do not go on that road. That road's scary. It's too skinny anyway. So as far as the path, yeah, I know, like, you don't want to have to do like a bunch of loops. Like, I do 0.22 loops, 54 of them every morning, but you probably don't want to do that. Here's what I would do. Now, I know this is kind of a pain in the butt, but you're really close to the Wilderness Lodge. Mm-hmm. If you can get to the Wilderness Lodge, there's a great path that goes, you take it, you just walk out past where the bus stops are at the Wilderness Lodge. And if you go right past there, it takes you to the path, which will take you to Fort Wilderness. That is one of the best runs ever. You go through the woods, you see animals, you get to Fort Wilderness, you can run around the RV loops, you can run around where the horses are, you can go down by Trails End and all that stuff in the store. That's where I love to run. I know it's kind of a pain in the butt to get started, but you will love every step you take on that path. So that's what I would say. Ricky, any other thoughts on that?
Yeah, I do so much running there. So
I'm just, I mean, people walk and just explore. I don't know.
I've done the walk from Fort Wilderness to Wilderness Lodge. It is nice. So yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. All right. Next question says first half marathon questions. It's from Michelle in Nashville, Tennessee. Hey, BOGP crew. I've only been listening to the podcast for about 2 months, but thanks to your enthusiasm and great trip reports about Run Disney in that time frame, I've gone from rolling my eyes at Racing Fanatic to signing up yesterday for my first ever Walt Disney Marathon. That's right. Don't blame us. I'll be running with one of my best friends who coincidentally introduced me to the show. Good job.
There you go.
And we're already deep in the trenches of trip and training planning. Our question is this. We were recently in Walt Disney World during the Star Wars races and saw firsthand how messy the traffic can get. Knowing that the January races are even busier, do you have any tips about where to stay or what transportation might be best for us to avoid the intense traffic? I want to be able to enjoy our post-run park time without the congestion, but I also don't want to stay to get antsy maneuvering through cars on our way to the corral lineup. Thanks so much for your insight. I love everything about the show, from the great trips to the positivity. Maybe we'll see Mike out there in January. Thanks again and have a great day. Michelle, you'll absolutely see me out there. I'm doing Dopey again in January. So just say hey and just meet up with the lizards. There's a ton of us in the bright colored shirts. So we'll see you out there in January. It's going to be fun. And as far as, okay, here's what I say about that, where to stay for a Run Disney weekend. Obviously, the Epcot era resorts are really nice because after the race, you can walk back. Now, this is after the race, though. You can walk through Epcot back and just, go to the Boardwalk, Beach Club, Yacht Club. Those are great. Swan and Dolphin. Also, think about this as I'm staying at Pop Century for Marathon Weekend this year because I'm going to catch a gondola back to Pop Century. So that would apply for Art of Animation. Also, Caribbean Beach and the Riviera. So that's an option. But the thing is, you were talking about getting to the corrals. This is where it really does not matter. You're going to take Disney transportation. You're not going to try to get there any other way because Disney transportation will get you there in plenty of time. I mean, I've done tons of races and never had an issue. And the best part about it is you just go out to your bus stop at like 3 a.m. I know it stinks, 3 a.m. But you get on your bus. And then when you sit down, it's a nice motor coach. And even if you're sitting in traffic, the bus is comfortable. It's warm. You go back to sleep or you just hang out with your friend and talk about the race. It's chill. And they drop you off right where you get off the bus and you walk over to your meeting area. Then you head to the corrals. It's the easiest way. Anybody that tries to drive themselves is just bringing too many variables into the equation. So that's what I say.
Good advice.
Any thoughts?
Definitely. No, I mean, I do the driving thing, but that's because I end up staying off site. So it is a little difficult sometimes to drive there. But yeah, if you're taking Disney transportation, they'll get you there really easily. And someone else is driving, so you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, if I'm not running with somebody, and a lot of times we have a lot of lizards running and we're at the same hotel. So we'll, have like a party on the bus on the way over. But those rare times where I'm staying at a hotel by myself, I go back to sleep on the bus. And seriously, you can get like 30, it's 3:00 in the morning. You can get like 30 more minutes. It's comfortable. I can sleep anywhere though.
Yes, you can.
That's me. See, Sarah Thompson's got a question from us, and she says, she's got her phone number here. We're not going to call her, though. No. Your question is, I'm planning a trip in October with my family. It's herself, her husband, 2 kiddos who are 12 and 8. We're staying at Pop Century. I'm going to send in a room request. I always love staying in the 60s because the location and the pool, but I'm wondering where the Skyliner station will be. Is the 60s building still the best location? Sarah. All right, talk to her about that, Ricky. What do you think?
Ooh. actually don't know where the sky. I assume the
Oh, it's in the
Skyliner.
middle of Hourglass Lake.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I assume the Skyliner is in the middle of Hourglass Lake. That's exactly where I was going with that. So, yeah, I think the 60s is fine because it's a quick hop, skip, and a jump to Hourglass Lake from there too. So I think 60s is a great option.
Yeah, I was thinking about this because, you know, if you think about it, the backside buildings have always been the standard, you know, like because they're the furthest back away from everything pop, the main building. But the thing is, like when I go down for marathon weekend, you know, like I want to stay in one of those buildings on the backside that's facing Hourglass Lake because it'll be quicker to the Skyliner. So I'm wondering, and I know Disney's going to reprice Pop Century and Art of Animation very soon because of the Skyliner, I'm sure, because it's got more transportation options. But will those rooms not kind of become preferred? I mean, it's not centrally located, but I mean, it's better location for one of the reasons a lot of people are going to consider Pop Century.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it'll depend on what Disney decides to do with, updating the pricing for Pop Century. So yeah, that's a good question. I'm not entirely sure how they're going to reconfigure things.
All right, let's get to a question from Colleen, one of my great guests over at the Magic for Less. Hey, Mike, we're getting so excited for our trip. And what's funny is that my husband's birthday is on September 30th. And this date is significant in our trip in so many ways. I'm so torn. It's the last day of meeting the Incredibles at Hollywood Studios. The last day for Mike and Sully's meet and greet. The last day for meeting Mickey and Minnie at the Magic Kingdom. And now the last performance of Illuminations, Reflections of Earth. Let's stop here for just a second. She's got some questions.
Got it.
Do any of those things actually really compare to the last performance of Illuminations? I don't think so. Is it just me? That does not compare.
I mean, I getcha.
Let's continue on.
Okay.
Disney is killing me, LOL. We have plans on September 30th to do Hollywood Studios because our son loves The Incredibles, and that's the last day. And we wanted to do
No. I don't know why I'm being quiet. You guys can probably hear me, so nope, I can't hear Mike. Okay, but they can hear me. All right. Hi guys. Mike just went dead. I don't know what happened. I thought it was me. So yeah, that's fun. Uh-oh. Mike's gonna freak out. Oh no. So Clint says, I'm going to answer the question here in the chat because Mike's, got stuff going on. So he says, can they price really change that much for the Skyliner? It's just more transportation. I don't see it, but that's just me. Disney is absolutely going to change the prices of the hotel that have a Skyliner. The hotels that have the monorail are higher priced right now. So they have a different, method of transportation and an extra method of transportation.
Hello?
So yes, you're back.
My channel 1 just died on my board. What?
That's weird. So anyway, yeah, they're absolutely going to end up fixing the rates for the Pop Century and Disney's Art of Animation and Caribbean Beach and all those just because the Skyliner is there. So yeah, I would absolutely expect to see changes there. So let's see here.
Hang on. I'm back. I've lost my channel. So
yeah, that's weird.
Good thing we have 9 channels on the board.
I know. Woohoo.
Okay, so where were we? So I'm going to go.
Yeah, just read the question again. Or not the question, but
I know where I was. So let's
yeah.
see, it's about 20 or so. God, this is the night we want to do this fast, and it's become a nightmare. Okay, here we go. Disney is killing me, LOL. We have plans on September 30th to do Hollywood Studios because our son loves The Incredibles, and that's the last day. And we wanted to do something new and different as a family on my husband's birthday and have secured a fantastic dining package at Mama Melrose. So maybe it's good we are missing the last Illuminations because of crowds, ? My husband and I have a dinner date for Le Cellier on October 1st. And now it's going to be crazy town, but so cool because it'll be the debut of Epcot Forever. I'm just so torn about whether or not to change plans to see Illuminations. We were hoping to satisfy the kids by doing Magic Kingdom on our arrival day on the Saturday and see Mickey and Minnie, and then hoping to see Happily Ever After Saturday night because there is a lot of Hollow Wishes during our trip. Mm-hmm. And Sunday, we're going to be a no park day for church, Disney Springs lunch, pool, Polynesian pool, and then a boat ride to Whispering Canyon. I love that day. Don't change that day because you're staying at the Polynesian. You need to explore and go to the pool. Don't change that. Oh, Disney, I love you so much, but all these surprises for our quiet, lower crowd time of the year trip have got me going bananas. What would you do? We have 4 kids who will be 7.5, 5.5, 4, and 2.5. Hopping around too much and seeing illuminations may not be in their best interest. Have a great Thursday. Looking forward to Friday's episode. All right, so here's the thing. Man, she has 4 kids that are under 8. So Illuminations, like as a pure Disney fan, is going to be incredible to see on the last performance. I've booked trips for folks, Dr. Kai, I'm looking at you, who are going down just to see the first Epcot Forever and the last Illuminations. However, it is going to be Crazy Town, both September 30th and October 1st. And with 4 kids in tow, I might stick to your plan to go to the studios because you're going to have it to yourself. What do you say, Ricky? Well, you won't have it to yourself because Galaxy's Edge will be open, but what do you think?
I think that as long as you see Illumination, if you have the opportunity to see Illuminations before you leave, before it goes away, then I think I would try to do that. But it doesn't sound like maybe they can unless, I know that they were talking about that one day that they weren't going to visit the park or anything like that. Maybe they do just add on just so they can see Illuminations that night if they weren't planning on going. It is tough because it is the last performance, the last week of Illuminations at that point. I don't think I would change my reservation for Le Cellier on the first, though, because, I think that that's probably going to be fine. There'll be a lot of people there to see the first show, but yeah, I think there'll be a lot of bloggers.
There'll be so many bloggers.
So you'll see a lot of bloggers there that day. Besides that, I don't know how many extra people will be there, but there will definitely be a lot of people there for Illuminations last night. So, yeah. All
right, let's get to the next question from Andrea. She says, hi, Mike, Pam, and Ricky. Huge fan of the BOG podcast. Thanks for all you guys do. I have a question. We're headed to the world this June and already have a ton of plans set up. On arrival day, we're thinking of doing some mini golf to just sort of relax and ease into the whirlwind that will happen in the week that follows. I should add that our park hoppers include the ability to do mini golf. That's why we're doing it. In any event, we have to choose between Fantasia Gardens or Winter Summerland. We're angling towards Fantasia Gardens, but would love to hear your feedback as we've never done the mini golf at Disney before. Thanks so much, Andrea. Ricky, I know that we've played a little mini golf down there. I've played both courses.
I've actually never played mini golf down there. No, I've not been with you guys, which is sad, Ricky. But that's okay because I have an option for you. I actually would choose Winter Summerland just because A, I think the theme is really unique. B, Fantasia Gardens is really hard. At least the one course is. The other one is a little bit easier. But the one course is like going golfing, but with miniature golf. Like that's kind of the that's what it equates to. So I would go Winter Summerland, but that's just me. Again, we've had this discussion about how I like Blizzard Beach more than Typhoon Lagoon anyway, because I like the theme better. But again, that's just me.
And that's going to happen with me too, because I like Winter Summerland better. I think the theme is cool, like the Christmas time and the summer.
Cool.
I'm a big Christmas fan.
Yeah.
I like Winter Summerland. It's nice. But I've played the Fantasia Gardens course and it's fun. The thing you're talking about, you don't want to play the one that replicates the real golf holes around the world. That is incredibly hard. That's for somebody that really plays golf.
Yes.
Like for just the putt experience where you're banking the balls off, things and going through obstacles and stuff. Definitely, either one, Fantasia Gardens or Winter Summerland, but I both like, and there's 2 courses obviously at each. Winter Summerland, you can play the Summerland side or the Winterland side, or I think that's what it's called. But yeah, there's 2 courses. Yeah. Fairways is super hard, Clint says. You're exactly right. All right, next question is from Jamie, Dining Questions. And if my mic sounds a little strange, we lost it in the middle of the podcast recording, so I apologize. It sounds a little different in my ear, but we will get this.
You sound fine to me, but that's just me.
It could be my headphone settings, so I just want to make sure, because we always want to give you the best quality, and I don't want to mess with that, but we're on the fly here. Hey, BOGP crew, I have a couple questions about dining. First question, I have a lunch reservation at Be Our Guest for 8 people. 2 of those people had to cancel their trip. Do I need to change this in the reservation so they don't charge me for the 2 that don't show up, or will they not worry about it since the rest of our party will be there? Ricky, what say you there?
I mean, if you want to be nice, I would change it, and that way you could maybe free up a table for a party of 8. But I mean, technically, no, Disney's not going to charge you for the people that aren't there. The only time they charge for people who aren't there is when nobody shows up for the reservation. As long as one person shows up for that reservation, they are not going to charge you for the other missing people that didn't show up. So just one person has to show up for the reservation for them not to charge you anything.
All righty. Second, and please do, cancel when you can, because that, like you said, that's just the right thing to do. And somebody they're going to get surprised. Like, hey, I couldn't make it. And now they can. Yep. See, there are 4 of us on the trip this year, myself, my husband, and 2 of our adult daughters. I have the Disney app where we can mobile order. If we want to use that app to mobile order while we are in the parks, do the 2 daughters need to get the app so they can mobile order and pay for their food? Or can we just do multiple mobile orders at the same restaurant from the same app so they can pay for theirs? We love listening to the show. You guys always keep it fun and positive. Jamie is in Greenwood, Indiana, 2 mini miles away from Disney.
Yes.
All right. So, and let me just tell you guys, and I know you've heard this a lot because you're a big Disney fan if you're listening to our show. Mobile ordering at the quick service locations is the biggest hack out there right now. You're going to avoid so many lines. Mm-hmm. It is so much easier, especially if you have like picky kids. It's so much easier to decide what you're going to have for lunch while you're waiting in line for Pirates. And then as soon as you walk off Pirates, you walk over to, Pecos Bills and get your food. I mean, yep. I love this. This is one of the best things about trips lately. But what do you say to this situation where, they have multiple people that are trying to decide how to order?
So personally, I would have them download the app and order on their own phones, because what happens is it is tied to whatever credit card is in the app. So that way, if you're looking to have them pay for their own food, I would absolutely have them just do it on their own, own app. That way, nothing gets mixed up. Nobody's accidentally paying for the wrong food, that kind of thing.
Yep, I agree. Especially if they're adults, they can totally do that.
Yeah.
All right, next question is from Jen from Ohio. Hi, new listener here. Well, where you been, Jen? Thanks for joining us. I've been listening for tips to take our son, who will be 20 months old, to Disney over Memorial Day weekend, and we'll be spending 1 day at the Magic Kingdom. Well, just found out that I'm preggo, and she said it, I didn't. And we'll be about 12 weeks at that time. Are rides that he would probably go on safe for me? I can't imagine them being super jerky or big drops for a 32-inch kiddo less than 2 years old. Don't worry, I won't accept this as doctor's advice, but any help is greatly appreciated. I haven't been to Disney World in years. Thanks, Jen. So, we went with, I'm trying to think, because Mallory was born in January 2nd. We went down for our anniversary, which is June 10th, when Pam was pregnant with Mallory. So I guess she was about this far along. Maybe, I can't remember. I can't do the math on the fly, but it was June and Mallory was born in January. We were super conservative. That's how it is. And the thing is, we go a lot. So it was a different kind of situation. She says she hasn't been to Walt Disney World in years. The thing is, if I have any question in the back of my mind, because I picture Small World, easy boat ride. You're looking at dolls singing at you. What could happen? Well, the thing is, one of those boats could boom, smack into the one in front of you, jerks you. And then I'm nervous. I'm a nervous Nelly anyway. So, man, I am super conservative in this stuff. But what do you say, Ricky? Because, it's different. I get to go, more than once a year usually.
So Disney will have on their, I would definitely pick up a map, a regular park map, and Disney will have on the park map which attractions are not good for people who are pregnant. Most of the time, they will be attractions that have height requirements anyway. So the more thrilling attractions will obviously be attractions that you wouldn't want to be on as pregnant lady. So there may be a few outliers, which is why I would pick up the map and just kind of look at it and peruse it. There'll be a little icon that'll say that this isn't good for pregnant people. So I would definitely do that and check that out, because it may not be, so you may think an attraction is okay, but kind of like what Mike said, although I think his example might have been a little extreme, but I could be wrong because I haven't looked at it. It's a Small World, could be one of those attractions that you aren't supposed to ride while pregnant. I don't know. I'm not pregnant, so I wouldn't know. But, there may be some reason if something did happen in the attraction that getting you out might cause issue too. So, that kind of thing. Just get the park map, and it'll tell you what attractions. You can look it up online too. Like they have the park maps online, and it'll show you which attractions you can't ride.
And Rachel's given some advice. She followed her doctor's advice. She did, she used Disney's guidance with the exception of Soarin' and Safari. Still went on those, but I have my doctor's approval. Safari, I don't know, because here's the thing. Like I drive a Jeep Wrangler. So Mallory was shaken up for 9 months. Anytime we rolled around St. Louis in the Wrangler, because that thing is the roughest ride ever. It's kind of like going on the Safari every day. Maybe not quite as rough, but the thing, like Haunted Mansion, there's really not a chance that's going to jerk. But I'm thinking like Small World, you hit another boat. I don't know how big of a jerk you got to have. And I'm sure it's, varies from person to person. It just, it's super important. So I just be super careful. Just me. All right. Next question is from a different Jennifer. It says, really enjoying your podcast. Thanks for doing it. My husband and I are visiting Walt Disney World in a few weeks, and I'm trying to figure out how we can manage to see all the evening shows at Hollywood Studios. With World of Animation getting added to the docket, would it be possible to see Wonderful World of Animation, Fantasmic, and Star Wars: The Galactic Spectacular all in the same night? In our case, May 4th, which hopefully you enjoyed it. How do you suggest navigating that physically and logistically, or do we just need to prioritize? Thanks, Jen. So moving forward, Ricky, what's the best advice for night? Trying to see as much as you can at night at the studios, because holy cow, they're going to have a lot.
Yes. So really, unfortunately, you have to kind of pick one from Fantasmic and the Star Wars fireworks. Honestly, a lot of time, unless they're running a Fantasmic that's after the Star Wars fireworks, it's really hard to do both, especially if they're only offering one showing of Fantasmic. The reason behind that is if they're offering the one showing, to get out of the Fantasmic theater all the way so that you can see the Chinese theater, it's a huge hassle, and it's really hard to do, especially because Fantasmic is like all the way back there, and it's so hard to, like, it takes forever to get back for you to get back to the main part of the park anyway. So you really do have to choose which one you're going to want to do. The good news is that Disney is still going to be offering Disney Movie Magic and the Disney animation projection shows. So they're going to actually offer both of them, as well as the fireworks for the Star Wars fireworks. So none of those things are a replacement for the Star Wars fireworks, which I know a lot of people have been worried about that animation show. Oh no, it's replacing the fireworks for Star Wars. It's not, which I'm sure by the time this goes live, we'll have all found out. But so anyway, I would say if you're looking for the biggest bang for your buck, I'm going to say do the Star Wars fireworks. That way you get to see both projection shows, because both will take place, and the Star Wars fireworks. And I would skip Fantasmic. So that's just me.
Good tips. That's what I say too.
Yeah.
All right, let's get in the last question of the day. It's from Kristen in Martinsville, West Virginia. It's an Old Key West newbie title. My two girls and I will be staying at Old Key West on our next trip, and I'm wondering what the parking situation is like there. From what I can tell on the map and pictures online, it looks like you can park pretty close to your room. Is this correct? I'm planning to rent a car, and I'm just curious how convenient it will be getting in and out of the resort as opposed to using Lyft or the bus system. Thanks for your help, Kristen. Well, good news, Kristen. That is exactly right. At Old Key West, everybody's got a parking spot right in front of their villa. I mean, you can literally park there within 20 or 30 steps if you're on the ground floor. You can be right there in your villa. It is amazing. This is the one resort where if you have a car, you are rocking. I mean, because the buses are fine, but the bus stops are kind of spread out within this resort. It's almost like it's like a community rather than a hotel.
Which makes sense given how it started. I mean, it is a Disney Vacation Club resort. So, yeah.
This is the one where having a car is awesome. It's going to save. You're going to be able to park right at your villa, walk right in, walk right out to go back to the parks. Also, the thing is, we've used Lyft and Uber from Old Key West as well, but you got to be very specific in where they pick you up, because we've got them to pick us up at our villa, but you got to almost like make the reservation, drop the pin, and then text them and give them a little more information, because the day we used Uber, it was pouring down rain, and we had an ADR at the Polynesian. So obviously we didn't have to walk to the bus stop. We'd have been soaked. So we got a hold of our Uber driver, dropped a pin, and then texted him like, okay, we're right here. We're going to all be standing by this building, pull up, and they can do that. But you got to be very specific on that. But yeah, Old Key West with a car, best way to go.
Yep.
All righty. Well, that's going to do it for today's Listener Question Show. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. If you have a question you want us to answer, send that to mike@beourguestpodcast.com, and we'll get to that right away. Also, apologies for the audio quality today. I know it's not the best. When I get back from Walt Disney World, we're going to get right on this. I'm going to make sure none of this happens again. But thanks for sticking with us for 11 years. We always have good audio quality. I promise it's few and far between. We're going to fix all this and get it all straightened out. Don't forget, today's show brought to you by the folks over at virtualmickey.com, home of great iPhone apps like Theme Park News Disney Edition. So if you need the latest and greatest Disney news, whether it's Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Cruise Line, just stuff that's happening even in Central Florida, this is a free iOS app you can download right now. So you need this on your device. It's great for right before bed, for in the morning while you're having breakfast. Check it out. It's Theme Park News Disney Edition, a free iOS app for your Apple devices. Also, please use our Amazon affiliate link. It's at beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. Each purchase really does help support the show. So again, bookmark it on all your devices. And a huge thank you to everybody who uses it. It's it's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. Give us a follow on the social media. We're on Instagram and Twitter at @BeOurGuestMike and at @BeOurGuestPod. And we've got an awesome Facebook page at facebook.com/BeOurGuestPodcast. All right, time to get out of here. We'll be back again on Friday, where I'm going to be talking about my experience down at Disney Springs hotels and at the B and all kinds of stuff. Cheerleading, you just hit. It's going to be a lot of fun. So join us on Friday for that. So until then, for Ricky and Pam, I'm Mike, wishing you a great Wednesday. Time to head back to work, and we'll see you real soon.
Mike, you sound fine.
Okay.
You don't.
It sounds, because I'm in a different channel, it sounds just a little different in my headphones.
No. It doesn't sound different in my ears at all. So you sound fine.
For that, okay. So I didn't get a chance because my levels aren't the same because I never use this channel.
No, they sound fine.
Like with the bass and stuff. Okay, so hang on, let me cut that out real quick, and then we'll do think about. We need a show topic. Any of those things actually really?
I have a couple of ideas from
elimination
blogs, but
I don't think so.
So Clint says, I'm going to answer the question here in the chat.
God, this is the night we want to do this fast. And Disney is killing me. LOL. Now the last performance of Illuminations, Reflections of Earth. Let's stop here for a second. She's got some questions. Is it just me? That does not compare.
I mean, I get you.
All right, let's continue on. Disney is killing me. LOL. Disney is killing me. LOL. We have plans on September 30th to do Hollywood Studios because our son loves The Incredibles, and that's the last day. And we wanted to do something new and different. I love that day. Don't change that day because you're
What?
hang on one second. And go to the pool. Don't change that. Oh, Disney, I love you so much, but all these surprise Thursday. Looking forward to Friday's episode. All right, so here's the thing, man. She has four kids that are under 8.
Hang on, I gotta find the spot where I cut
Don't change that day because you're staying at the Polynesian. You need to explore go to the pool. Don't change that. Oh, Disney, I love you so much, but all these surprises for our quiet, lower crowd time. So cool because it'll be the debut of Epcot Forever.
Can you hear this?
So torn about whether or not.
You can't hear me editing?
Illuminations.
No, I can hear you editing.
Oh, you hear it?
Satisfied.
Yeah.
Okay. Magic Kingdom on our arrival day on the Saturday and see Mickey and Minnie. And then hoping to see Happily Ever After Saturday night because there is a lot of Hallowishes during our trip. Mm-hmm. And Sunday, Disney Springs lunch, pool, Polynesian pool.
I'm trying to find it.
Secured a Fantasmic dining package at Mama.
I think it's right here. I want to make sure I got it.
So maybe it's good. We are missing the last Illuminations because of crowds? ? My husband and I have a dinner date for Le Cellier on Penny at the Magic Kingdom, and now the last performance of Illuminations, Reflections of Earth. Let's stop here for a second. She's got some questions.
Got it.
Do any of those things actually really compare to the last performance of Illuminations, Reflections of Earth? And I don't think so. Is it just me? That does not compare.
I mean, I get you.
All right, let's continue on. Disney is killing me.
Okay, there we go.
LOL. Yep. Is it just me? That does not compare.
I mean, I get you.
All right, let's continue on. Disney is let's continue on.
Good enough for free.
Yes.
Sorry, guys. I hate that this is not perfect. You don't know how much it bugs me. Episode.
You know how many other podcasts actually edit their show?
I know, but I mean, we always sound good, and that's the thing. And I want it to sound real. I don't want it to sound fucked up.
I'm just teasing you.
I know, but I take this stuff seriously.
Super serious. Okay, so what are we doing for Friday? What ideas do you have? Sorry.
All right, so I have a couple of ideas of like past blog articles that have been really like popular. We have, and they can be kind of controversial. We have the best and worst, or best queues at Walt Disney World, best and worst. And then I also have the most overrated attractions at Walt Disney World. And then the other option I had was I did dine at, let's see here. I did Crystal Palace recently. Didn't know if we wanted to review that. I don't know if you've been there.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if you want to do that one, but those are the options that I had in mind.
Let's do the queues.
The queues? Okay. Got it. So the best and worst queues at Walt Disney World. So I have a, huh?
Blog
What?
on the Mouse for Less. A blog.
Yeah. So I have like the list of the queues and that have been named, and then I think we can like kind of go through them, and then we can talk about them and go over whether we agree or disagree.
Okay, I'm pulling it up. Where's the blog?
It's from April 16th.
Blog. The word blog is such a weird word.
Sorry.
From April. Dumbo movie review.
It's by the same author,
On
actually.
page 2, I guess.
Page 2 or 3, yeah. It's Disney World lines. It's this best and worst of Walt Disney World queues is what it's called.
When things go wrong. Oh, here it comes. Best and worst at Walt Disney World queues. Did you write it?
I did not. It was one of my other bloggers.
It's already wrong, I can tell.
I
What?
see. Why?
Huh. Okay, let's do this. I don't want to give it away. All right.
All right.
So if you want to follow along, go to the blog on the Mouse for Less.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. This Friday. I know we're out of order. This is like totally out of whack, man. We're going because this is 1480. God, if I get this right, it'll be a miracle.
I
So
know.
1479, 1482, and now we're doing 1480.
Yes, that would be
This
correct.
is how we roll. We don't do anything normal.
Nope.
Good Lord. I'm going to earn that Taco Bell tonight. Okay, here we go. This is Friday, and I'll still be at Walt Disney World. Okay, here we go. Actually, it's the day before the summit. You just hit.
Stop it.
You got to follow cheer updates because they give updates on every performance. And if you go no deductions, they put this GIF on Twitter, and it has a meteor hitting the earth. And when it hits the earth, it says, "You just hit."
Good for you.
Just saying. I've been watching it because Worlds has been going on for a week, so
Gotcha.
I've been watching. Anyway, I'm a cheer dad.
Yes, you are.
1480. Here we go. God help us. Your bandwidth works and my mic works.
That's right.
I'm not even Catholic. I'm doing the sign of the cross. Okay, here we go. Welcome to episode 1480 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and from the B down at Disney Springs. That's right. We're staying in the Big White Hotel that I think was hit by a hurricane a few years back. So can't wait to tell you about it. It's going to be fun. And apparently I'm running all over the place down Disney Hotel Plaza Boulevard, you know, when I could be running around Hourglass Lake or Crescent Lake. It's going to be fine, though. It's going to be, you know what? Everything in life is a story, and this is going to be a good one. So stand by for that next week. But this week, we recorded this one a little early so we can have some fun Disney talk to get your weekend started just a bit early. And we're going to talk queues today, the best and worst. And the person to bring that to you, of course, Ricky Niblett from DisneyWorldAfterAll.com, touringplans.com, and the Mouse for Less. Happy Friday, Ricky. What's going on?
Happy Friday. I am looking forward to a very fun weekend here in Atlanta. So that's what's on tap for me this weekend, not being at Walt Disney World.
The big competition happens this weekend. Of course, we got here on Thursday. So yesterday we settled in late Wednesday night. Thursday was kind of the day where everybody gets settled. Friday, all day today, practice. They're practicing their routines. They're doing what are called what's it called? Run-throughs? I forget. Full ups. That's what it's called. See, I got to get all my terms. And then Saturday and Sunday at ESPN, if you're down there, let me know. You can come over. You want to see something crazy. All these cheerleaders, thousands of them. Mallory's cheering 31 teams in her group. They got to get top 10, go to Sunday. And the words we want to hear, again, everybody say it with me. There's 3 words. You just hit. We're going to hear that on Saturday tomorrow.
There you go.
Anyway, today we are talking about the best and worst queues. This was a blog article over on the mouseforless.com. If you click on the blog on the upper right-hand corner of the page there, lots of fun stuff to read for the Disney fan. But this is one that passed about 3 weeks ago now, and it was interesting, because I think everybody has their opinions on best and worst queues, because queues are a huge part of the Walt Disney World experience. Of course, we try to avoid them with FastPass Plus for the most part, but here's the thing. Let me just start this conversation. I've done Flight of Passage, I think 4 times now at Walt Disney World, every time with a FastPass, and everybody tells me, oh, you got to see the regular standby queue. I'm like, are you kidding me? It's like 4 hours. No.
I forgot you haven't seen it.
I haven't, and I don't ever want to. I mean, do people have I know that they put a lot of time into the queues. The queue that really started getting this all rolling, I think, was Expedition Everest. It's like going through a museum. Mm-hmm. But what say you to the folks that are like, you haven't experienced the attraction till you've experienced the full standby queue? Do you think people have a point there?
Well, I think that was probably the case years ago when Disney was building all these queues without FastPass Plus, and now that they've incorporated FastPass Plus and are building queues with FastPass in mind. And you're right, Everest was really kind of the key for this. They built 2 queues so that you would understand what was happening, whether you went in the FastPass queue or you went in the standby queue. So you got the same story. And I think that Disney has definitely done this as we move forward with all the other attractions. More or less, you get kind of the same thing. Now, I will admit, the queue, I have waited in the queue. I've actually been in the full queue for not Na'vi River Journey. I've done that one too, but for Avatar Flight of Passage. And I've done the FastPass queue. And on that one, I will admit, the queue is very different on Flight of Passage in the actual standby line. It doesn't mean I'm going to suggest waiting in that queue if you have the ability to get a FastPass. I would absolutely prefer to wait in the FastPass line.
You know what? I haven't seen the blue guy in the tube, but my life hasn't been rocked either.
It's really cool. They have some other really cool parts in that queue as well, especially in the bioluminescent forest and things like that. But do I feel like I'm missing out because I haven't seen that queue since annual pass holder previews. So obviously it's at this point been it's been almost 2 years. It'll be 2 years this month. So that I haven't been in the standby queue for that attraction. So do I feel like I'm missing out? No, not really. I'm just like, okay, see you later. I'm gonna go ride the attraction now. But I think that for the most part, since FastPass Plus has been incorporated into Walt Disney World, they really do try to put in pieces to tell a story. Now, of course, some of the attractions, like say, for example, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, when you look at that queue versus the FastPass queue, they put in all those little storytelling things, the water feature that they had, kind of you could play the musical, the colored water and the spinning barrels and things like that. Like those activities were put in because they wanted people to have something to do while waiting in the hours-long line for the attraction, versus if you do get on with FastPass Plus on Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, really, there's not a lot. You're walking about a cottage, but really that's about it. So it is a different. You have different things that they do offer just because you're waiting in a long line, so they know people are going to be bored. So they have some additional things to offer those guests to kind of help pass the time a little bit. So anyway, that's my take on queues nowadays is I feel like Disney does do a little bit better job for the standby queue of giving you things to do while you're waiting.
So, and we do these shows on Fridays because I like to have the conversation over the weekend on Facebook where everybody has a little downtime. Maybe you're on a Friday night on the couch watching some live PD like I typically do and just scanning social media. And you know what? Because I want to hear what you have to say, especially about this topic. Because here's another question for you, Ricky, before we dive into specific queues, which we will do. Do you think people seek out queues? Because queues obviously are, to me, they're a necessary evil. You have to queue up to get on an attraction. Obviously, you want it to be the best experience possible. Disney wants you to start to become incorporated in the story in the queues. But there is not a queue that I go out of my way to stand in ever. And I think maybe some people feel like I have to go through that queue, to really see. For example, I think one of the better queues in the last 3 years is the Peter Pan standby. They did
Oh,
a great job of storytelling. You know, it's a lot different than, say, a Winnie the Pooh queue from years back, from like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yes.
That's one of the worst, in my opinion.
Oh, agreed.
Even though it's plus, we'll have a conversation about that. But I mean, you know, even with seeing Peter Pan's queue, and I really liked it. Like, I don't really want to go through that long standby line ever. But I mean, do you think some people do?
Oh, I will fully admit I hadn't seen the Peter Pan like queue until I think it was this year. It was one of those nights where it was like late night, and I think, you know, it was Peter Pan was the last attraction that we had to necessarily do in the park, and I was like, all right, fine, let's just, you know, I didn't have a fast pass, so let's just wait in the line, whatever. And so I finally did it because I knew the line wasn't that long. I could kind of see where it was. And I did it, and I was like, okay, now that I've seen this queue, it's definitely cool. Like, they've done a great job enhancing the story, telling a little bit more, especially when you think about what the queue used to look like when it was really just switchbacks. I mean, there was nothing to experience on that queue and so boring. So at least they've added this to kind of get the story to get moving a little bit, and B, really give people something to look at besides just the same people over and over again. So that was a big thing. So I think that honestly, that really is one of the best queues that I think Disney has built in recent time, especially on an attraction that didn't have that originally. Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah. And it's way better. It's way better than the Winnie the Pooh queue, which was literally one of the first queues that they did when they started kind of
they're called scene ones or something like that.
Yeah, I started doing the scene ones, and I know that they've really cut back on those scene one things, just because I think that they worked okay, but I don't know how great they were for people. I mean, I think I really think that Disney's like, you know what? Instead of spending all this money on the queue here, we can, fixing up these queues, we can just, put it other places. So, but the scene one there, I mean, I really don't like it. I hate that honey wall in that scene one. Like, I will not touch it with a 10-foot pole. That thing just skeeves me out, and I feel like I'm gonna get like so sick by touching that wall. I avoid it with at all costs. Like, I feel like it's got the plague just on it.
I think, okay, so I'm lumping a bunch of them together. Haunted Mansion, Winnie the Pooh, Space Mountain with the game you can play in the Star Tunnel.
Well, they don't have that anymore. Yeah, they took it out
when they had it. Because so here's the thing: is like, I remember when they first came out, and this was probably 5 or 6 or 7 years ago. Now it's been quite a while.
Yeah.
Like, I think the difference is, and I just want to kind of break this down, is that maybe everybody didn't have like an iPhone with a touch screen. Like saying there was a little bit of novelty to that honey wall where you could touch it, manipulate it just by, like a touch screen.
Yeah.
And so that was different. You had the video game aspect of the Star Tunnel.
Right.
The Haunted Mansion with making the noises. I mean, that's kind of the thing is, what these introduced to was you almost had to come up with like a new
story
waiting in line. Like etiquette, because say you're in the Star
definitely
at Space Mountain and you're rocking, and your game's not over, but now there's a 20-yard gap because people have moved up in the line. Like, I was always like, do I pass them? Do I not? Because they're in front of me, but they're not moving, and I don't want to stand here. I think that Disney had the best intentions to pass the time the best way, but I think what has happened, say, in the last 3 years, is that everybody has a device in their hand. Like, you don't need the scene ones anymore. And I think that's where the play park app or whatever. I think they're bringing that to your device, and that's software. That's easier for Disney, and it's not something that's going to be obsolete and hardware on the walls and in the queues for the next 10 years.
Oh, absolutely. And please don't get me started on the Haunted Mansion queue. I absolutely can't stand it. Like, I will get a fast pass for the Haunted Mansion just because I don't want to walk through that new scene one that they had there. I think it's a terrible scene one. I mean, I really dislike it a lot, actually. I dislike the story that it tells. It doesn't add anything to the attraction, in my opinion. And I feel like that I think in a weird way it kind of detracts from the attraction. I know that it's got some cool effects and stuff like that, but and I really like the Sea Captain and how that really was a part of the story originally when they were conceiving the Haunted Mansion. But really, I mean, that's honestly the best part, I think, of the whole, just because I know that that's from the original story. But everything else, like, they can get rid of it tomorrow and I'd be like, see you later. I don't really care. Like, I really dislike that scene one. It is probably my least favorite scene one that they've ever done. So, yeah.
I think if you had to really, this is just me, but I think the best done queue at Walt Disney World right now is Expedition Everest, even though it was one of the first in this movement to make the queue, something that wasn't a torturous event.
Yeah.
It was something that was kind of interesting. And I mean, it's not going to be like your most exciting thing waiting in line, but I think they did that the best, because here it is. It's not interactive. It's not like where you're touching and, making things honk and,
minus the bells. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, it's not crazy. It's like people don't back up because they're in the middle of some kind of a timed event that lasts 2 minutes. But the thing is, when I go through Expedition Everest, it is interesting. And it's, it is like walking through a museum. And if you think about it, a museum is best experienced at a slow pace, with a bunch of exhibits. This one might be interesting to you. This one might not be, so and also, when you're looking at these artifacts, as you go through the queue there, it's a conversation piece for those that you're standing in line with, or it can be, it doesn't have to be, but you can also be on your device and not have to participate at all in it. And it's not going to affect you. I think that's the best one to me right now, because it's not going to bog down the line, and it doesn't look obsolete. It looks great. It matches perfect. And I think it'll be fine in 5-10 years down the road.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think that the Expedition Everest queue is probably one of the better queues overall. But the queue that I really think is the best in all of Walt Disney World is actually at Disney's Hollywood Studios, and it's Tower of Terror. I mean, that queue tells the story from the minute it literally is starting to tell the story from the minute you're walking down, Sunset Boulevard. I mean, you see that ominous, big, giant tower looming ahead, and it's pulling you towards it. So it's definitely got that weenie, aspect that Walt always loved. And then as you enter the line and you wind the pathways of this old, decrepit hotel, and you've got the vines that have overgrown, and sometimes there's that mist and that steam that's kind of making things a little foggy, and like that part to me is so cool. And then you enter the hotel and you enter the lobby, and you've got the scenes that they have laid out for you to tell the story of, hey, this is an abandoned place, like there's nobody here. I think that to me, and I don't even ride Tower of Terror. And then you get into the actual scene where they have, Rod Sterling, and he is telling you the story of what actually happened, because that's part of the queue as well. And then you take your way into the boiler room, and that continues the story, because that's where you have to board your service elevator. And the boiler room area is so well done too. To me, that is seriously the best queue, I think, in Walt Disney World. I mean, it just hits it out of the park. They do a fantastic job. It's got the story element there, because you've got that scene with Rod Sterling. I just feel like that's the epitome. Like you said, Expedition Everest is the epitome, and I definitely think that it's right up there. But Tower of Terror is also right up there for me. They hit that out of the park when they built it. And look, Tower of Terror has been there since 1994, and it's still one of the best queues that Disney's ever built. So I think they did a great job with that.
Here's what I think about that, and I agree with you. I think it's a well done queue, because it definitely sets the scene. It sets the mood immediately upon, before you're ever in the lobby there, which really then amps it up 10 times. But I think the thing is, I think a lot of guests who maybe are not hardcore Disney fans, is you're entering the outdoor section of the queue as you first get in line. They might think, wow, this is like Disney's kind of dropping the ball, because like it's, they're like, like water fountains with no water in them. Everything looks kind of run down and abandoned, which is the whole theme of the attraction. The whole point, yeah. And I could see, like, at first people like, Disney, man, put some water in those.
Oh no, it definitely tells the story. No. It tells that story exceptionally well. You get it as soon as you walk up to the gates, and you see the dead plants and the overgrown plants and things like that. Like, it's just, yeah. It's awesome. It's awesome.
George in the chat is saying you got to check out the one at Disneyland version.
I'm dying to see their queue, because I know that scene with Rocket is. I've seen that Rocket AA, and I'm assuming they will probably be bringing that to the Guardians of the Galaxy coaster when that comes out over here at Epcot. So I'm assuming we'll get something very similar here when we move forward with that. But yeah, the things I've seen of that queue at the Guardians of the Galaxy mission breakout are super fantastic as well. Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Carol in our chat, a great friend of the show, brought up Slinky Dog Dash queue. Okay, so I just want to get your opinions on this one, because this one I kind of have a love affair for, and I also hate it. One, it's outside and it's hot in the summertime. That's why I hate it. And I was there when it opened and it was super hot. But I also love that there's so many little nods to my childhood that I see the 7th and 8th time I go through the queue. And I love that stuff. And it really does. I mean, it is exactly like being immersed in the Toy Story film. I love it at night. I don't like it so much in the sunshine in the afternoon. But because that's the newest one. Is Disney doing this right? Because they say they can't enclose it because it would kill the theme of the land. It's a backyard. But what say you?
Can I be honest? I actually haven't waited in the standby queue for that attraction. I've only done Fast Pass. So yeah, I really don't, I haven't seen like some of the aspects of it. I get that, it's an outdoor, it's a backyard. So like, I get that part of it. And I get why they probably, maybe didn't want to enclose it. Maybe I wish that they would have done it like as you're kind of like what they do with Toy Story Mania. You're going into the box of the game as you enter. So like, I kind of wish that maybe they'd done that. Like you're going into the box as well. So that way they could enclose it. I get why they didn't. But for the story. But I guess I wish that maybe they had at least enclosed it a little bit. So that way it kept a little bit of air conditioning in there. But yeah, I haven't done the standby queue for that one because, again, I'm not waiting, 2 hours for Slinky Dog Dash. So,
all right, so I want to go back to that blog article because that's kind of what inspired our show today. Because I don't know, I'm not going to say who wrote this because I disagree with a lot of it. Now, I think there's
well, that's the whole point, and a lot of people disagreed with this article. So a lot of the pieces of it. So that was why I thought it was interesting because there's so many points of conversation that we can have with this one. So.
Okay, then Elise F, you're getting it. Here we go. No, she has the worst queues at the Magic Kingdom as being Big Thunder, Jungle Cruise, and Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. I disagree. Now, here's the thing. I think Seven Dwarfs Mine Train is great because of the aesthetics of it. I'm not big on all the little, like I said, I'm not big on all the little games. I think they were fun when that attraction opened 5 years ago. I can't believe it's been 5 years.
Oh, my goodness.
They were really cool, but I think I've moved on past that stuff now with the spinning barrels, the touch screens, the waterfalls, stuff like that. But I think kids like it. But here's the thing. I think there's Big Thunder Mountain and Jungle Cruise are two of the similar type queues. They're long, they're hot. I'll give you that. But like both of them, you get to see the attraction. Like you're watching it happen. You're building up excitement to get on the boat or the train. You're being immersed in like little props and like musical cues, especially on Jungle Cruise. I love the loop. You hear the skippers kind of playing around with each other. I think Jungle Cruise, it's switchbacks. Don't get me wrong. It's not fun. But there's a lot of little stuff to look at. There's great music, and it's not so bad. I like Jungle Cruise. What do you think about that one?
I will wait in Jungle Cruise if it's a 30-minute or less wait, and if I can't get a fast pass, I'll do that. And Big Thunder, I won't wait in the full line for that. I usually get a fast pass for that. Same as Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. I usually get a fast pass if I'm going to ride it. I think that the main thing that is really similar in all three of these queues is they're all outdoors. And that's kind of what she mentions in the article is each one of these has a very considerable outdoor portion. And, on those hot summer days, yeah, that part is awful. Like you're just out there sweating like crazy and you're just like, oh, can I please get off the ride? So I get it in that regard. I think Big Thunder is kind of cramped. So I do get that too, but it does kind of, especially since they have added a little bit more to it, it does tell a story. So there is a story there. There's, of course, the story with Jungle Cruise too, with the audio cues that you get. I mean, obviously I have an affinity for a Jungle Cruise because my brother used to work there. So, my heart is at the Jungle Cruise anyway. So, I don't mind waiting a half hour for it or so because I do like the audio that they have there. But I don't know. I get it. They're hot. They're outside. So I understand the not liking those queues.
And she has the best queues at the Magic Kingdom is Pirates, which I agree with. I think that's an awesome one because you're in the tunnels, you're in the caves. I agree. That's an awesome one. It's nice and cool. Peter Pan's Flight, we've both agreed that's a good improvement. That's a nice one. Now, Haunted Mansion, not really.
That's the one that I absolutely disagree on. I so dislike that queue. It made it so for me. So Haunted Mansion is set in. I mean, I know it's ghosts, but it's set in kind of a realism situation, and I feel like with the queue that they added, it makes it feel fake. Does that make sense? Like it gives a sense of like, I don't know, it takes me out of that oh my gosh, this could be real kind of situation, and it adds like a fake element to it. And that's why I really avoid going through that queue. And if I can get a fast pass, that's what I will do to ride Haunted Mansion, because like that way I get to bypass all of that, and I don't have that fake. I agree.
Great. It's almost like a cartoon of the attraction.
Yes, cartoon. That's exactly the word I was looking for. It feels cartoony, and that's not what I'm going to the Haunted Mansion for. Like I want it to be as real as possible for ghosts.
All right, so our writer here goes to Epcot. Worst queues: Soarin' and Spaceship Earth. I will agree with both of those.
Yes.
Those are pretty bad.
Yeah, no.
I do like a little game on Soarin' if I'm playing that, but yeah, there's nothing fun about Soarin' or Spaceship Earth. Spaceship Earth outside switchbacks.
Honestly, I'm surprised that when they redid Soarin' to what they did with the whole across the world thing, I'm surprised they didn't adjust the queue. Like I know they like updated it from what it was, like they added, changed the colors and stuff like that, but I'm really surprised that they didn't like rework that queue so that it was a little bit better. But no, they didn't. Plus, that queue does not have any Wi-Fi once you get into like the.
No, it doesn't. It's a Wi-Fi dead spot.
So then it's worse because like you're just sitting there with nothing to do, and you can't connect to the Wi-Fi to distract you that way too.
Yeah, Soarin' is just such a sterile queue. Like I wish they'd make it look like because I'm like a person who just rediscovered flying, and I love airports. Like I think they're cool. I know not a lot of people like airports, but I wish they'd make it kind of like an airport like experience because you're supposed to be going soaring. Like it's cool.
Yeah.
There's a lot of theming you could put there. So let's go her best cues, and I disagree. Fast Track and Mission Space. Now I like Mission Spaces. There's a lot of nods. There's a lot of stuff to look at there. It's kind of weird though because it's like fake news. Like you got this first family that went to Mars. Like it really didn't happen, but yeah, it's in the story. It's like it confuses the crud out of kids. Like I try to teach my kids all about space. Like that family, no, we haven't gone to Mars yet.
Right, yeah.
And that actually was before fake news. She has Test Track, and I think, I hate Test Track's queue. I just don't like it.
I'm kind of with you. I don't love Test Track's queue either. And it's not because like I didn't mind the old queue necessarily, because it was showing you that it was a testing ground. I really don't like new Test Track in general. I think that the old version of Test Track was better, even though like I know that it was kind of antiquated at this point, but like the test dummy thing, like that was, I felt like you were at least learning something on Test Track. Like with the new version, I really dislike it in general. It's not my favorite version of Test Track. And I really dislike this is the whole, integrating technology into it for no reason, like where you build your own car. And I'm like, I don't really care about building my own car. Like it doesn't appeal to me. And, that aspect of the story just does nothing for me. I enjoyed the part about riding in the car is the best part of the attraction. And, when I feel like there's so many like blank spaces now in the ride overall because they have the scene that used to be did you turn off the robots, and the heat room and the cold room, like they're literally like nothing at this point. They're just like, oh, we needed to throw in something here, so let's throw that in. Like I'm like, really? Like you're gonna throw in a mirror that just kind of does some weird swoopy thing over it? I don't know. I agree with you. The adding in the ability to make your own car in the queue really, I think, hurts that attraction. And overall, like it hurts the attraction overall. Yeah.
Kids tend to like it, but I'm just that's something that I think you can get on your phone. Caitlin says she likes it with making the car with her dad. So that's cool. I mean, that's what I love about Disney. Everybody's got their thing.
Absolutely, everybody's got their thing. Yeah.
But I will say I miss the old queue with the old all the good old music that played. And then except for the thing was they had those crash test dummies and they'd whack that one in the knee like over and over. And like, as I'm standing there, I'm like, oh man, that's killing my knee. I can't see
Like,
that.
it hurts. Yeah.
No, I do love Test Track, but I'm just not a huge fan of the
I think that in a way, I think that Epcot has sort of the weakest queues in all, as of right now, in all of Walt Disney World. You know, none of their queues are really exceptional. I mean, the Imagination queue is okay. It's exceedingly dated at this point, but at least it tries to tell a story of the Institute. I enjoy the first half of the Seas with Nemo and Friends, where you're going underwater and you see the beach and stuff like that. Like, I think that's really great. But then once
I got a fact about that queue. Did you know that if you successfully navigate that queue, you actually get a medal for running a half marathon?
Got it. Yes. Yeah, exactly. That queue does wind a lot. I mean, I do like that they kind of have made it look like you are going underwater. And then once you go underwater, you do see the blues and you see the water rippling, and you see the bars to separate the line, or it's like they've been rusted over. Like, I really enjoy that aspect of it, but the queue is so entirely long, and yeah, if you're waiting in it. But so I feel like Epcot has like the weakest queues. I think the best queue that they have is the Frozen Ever After queue.
Yeah, that was awesome. That's one of the newest ones, and they really, they made it comfortable, air conditioned, and it's like you're in the story. It's not like in the movie, but you're in something that could be in the movie.
And I think, of course, once we get the Guardians of the Galaxy coaster and Ratatouille, then those two queues are going to be phenomenal. But at this point, I feel like Epcot really has the worst queues overall.
I agree. But they're updating Future World, so maybe they'll address that. That'd be good. Maybe. I don't know if they will. Maybe, probably not, but who knows? Worst queues over at the studios. Our writer says Rock and Roller Coaster. Disagree. And disagree. Because I think Rock and Roller Coaster, although it is dated, it's like, it is, once you get into the building, okay, you got that little covered part outside, which kind of stinks, the switchbacks, but you're usually not in that very long. Once you get in the building now, when the technology is working with your Magic Band, sometimes your name pops up on like a rock concert poster. That's always cool. Yeah. Then immediately you're in, within 5 minutes, you're into the recording studio with Aerosmith. And then you're watching the coasters blast out there. I love that one. And it's air conditioned.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the outside part is torturous. I'll admit that. Like that, but I mean, they just need somewhere for you to go. So, of course you're going to have to wait outside a little bit, but I do agree that the part where you actually get inside and, you see Aerosmith and they're, inviting you to the backstage, you go to the concert with them in the super stretch limo. Like, dude, that is one of the best pre-shows. I know it's super dated and really corny, but after seeing the Rock and Roller Coaster version of the pre-show at and Disneyland Paris at their studios park, oh my God, it's so much better. Like the Paris one is literally like maybe 30 seconds, and it's like Steven Tyler talking about like building the roller coaster, and then it's over. And I'm like, what? That's it? I thought that was just like the intro into before we get to the actual pre-show. So anyway, the part with Aerosmith is fantastic. And yes, watching the cars take off and seeing the scene that, it totally gets you amped up. It makes me nervous. Like my heart starts pounding, going, why am I going on this attraction? What provoked me to think this was a good idea? Even now, still, like I'm just, like my heart rate just starts going up. Now, I will admit, if you're waiting in the single rider line, that single rider line can be extremely torturous. So I definitely prefer the fast pass line if I can. But yeah, I have no problem with the Rock and Roller Coaster queue.
My favorite time in that line was this past marathon when I jumped in there when I was running the marathon, because I was out by myself and I had plenty of time to finish, and I missed Everest getting on that. So I was like, I'm going to ride Rock and Roller Coaster. So I ran back there, got to the lady running the fast pass stop. I was like, I don't have a fast pass. I was like, but can I get in the fast pass line? She's like, just go.
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
But there were no runners in the whole line around me. So like everybody saw me like with my bib, and I'm sure I'm stinking. I'm all sweaty, but like everybody's like cheering me on. It was like the best. I was like, yeah, I'm in the middle of a marathon. I'm going to ride a roller coaster. And I was scared. Then I got on. I'm like, oh man, I forgot how low this thing sits.
Yes, it's so low.
I'm going upside down like 3 times. I'm going to get locked up and I'm not going to finish. I started panicking like during the ride, but I made it. It was a good ride. I don't know if I'd do it again. It was so fun.
Yes.
All right, back to the
Yeah.
blog article. She says best cues, Tower of Terror. Yes, I agree there. Toy Story Midway Mania. I think that's like a 75%er for me. It's not bad, but I wouldn't say it's one of the best.
I agree with you. It's okay. This is one of those points where like they were trying to make that interactive cue a thing because they added the, Mr. Potato Head, and the goal was for you to have conversations with him, but nobody ever got that idea of the attraction. But then, Don Rickles passed, and so like you can't redo, like I really wish they would have been able to redo the Mr. Potato Head like part so that he stops asking you to, conversate with him. So like I really wish they could have done that. But Don Rickles isn't here anymore, so you can't have him do it. And I'm pretty sure they're still using his voice for Toy Story 4. So, there's no new person they can have, add to that. So anyway, like I agree with you. I think that it's good in theory, and it has some really good parts to it. But it's missing just a little something. And I feel like part of it is they tried to add that, interactivity, and it just doesn't work. Yeah.
All right, let's head over to Animal Kingdom. And it says worst cues. She just has Kilimanjaro Safari, which, okay, it is. It's long. It's hot. I agree. It's pretty bad, but I do like the video. The video I think is very good, like edutainment. I think it's well done, but I just don't know what else you would do for a safari attraction. You're going to be outside. You're going to get on a vehicle to go out onto the savannah. I think for what it is, it's about as best as could be expected.
I agree with you in that. I mean, yeah, sometimes it's long and sometimes it's hot. But yeah, I mean, you're going out on a savannah. I wouldn't expect there to be a building you walk into and then, miraculously you're on a savannah. Like there's no other way that they could have done this attraction, queue. So, I get it. It's hot, it's outdoors. But it is what it is. I think so. I was going to say kind of one of the worst queues, but also best queues at Disney's Animal Kingdom is actually, I think, Cali River Rapids. Now it's the best queue because like the theming of this queue is so miraculously awesome. Like they have done a fantastic job with this queue. As far as setting the story and telling the story. The part that's awful about the queue is it's so long. Oh my goodness. So if they could just cut part of that off, it would be an awesome queue. But yeah, it's like a love-hate relationship with that queue. What they've done is fantastic. And it's like Kilimanjaro Safari. It's like they tell the story really well. It's just good night. Like walking a mile here.
It is. It's super long. And Jeff brings up Dinosaur. I do like Dinosaur, especially that kind of circular room. It's kind of like a museum with Bill Nye the Science Guy, giving you some information. Then it gets, it's like mayonnaise, mustard, and ketchup tubes over you because it used to be sponsored by McDonald's. But yeah, I think Dinosaur is pretty good. I would give that a.
I wouldn't know. I've only been in that queue like one or two times. I know you did. I cried the whole time and kept my eyes closed.
I did. So she gives the best queue to Flight of Passage at Animal Kingdom. She does not mention Everest. So if you had to pick, which one's better, Flight of Passage or Everest? I say Everest.
Well, you haven't been in the Flight of Passage queue.
True. And I just don't like that ride too much.
I know you don't like that ride. Gosh, that is tough. I do like the Everest queue a lot. Flight of Passage is really good though. I will admit their queue is pretty on point. Now, I do not enjoy their pre-show. That, like, if I could just cut it off before the pre-show or refilm the pre-show with the guy who just goes, all the time, like...
Yeah, that guy cracks me up.
Fly? Dumb. So dumb. Like, just get rid of that. And I don't, like, love the, let's move around and see, get your profile. Like, that part's kind of hokey to me, too. But the actual queue itself, that queue is really cool at Flight of Passage. I mean, I don't know if I had to choose one, I might choose Flight of Passage's queue, but Everest is really good too, I will admit. So yeah.
That guy has to have a podcast. The guy that's in the queue for
that guy is the worst. I don't know what Disney was thinking when they decided, you know what, let's get this dopey looking guy to do this queue and sound idiotic. And God, I just
okay,
Disney.
So before we get to because I like how she closes out the article with 5 things you can do in line to pass your time, which I think is good. I think one of these I totally disagree with, but real quick.
I think I know which one you're going to disagree with, but yes.
And I love her. I'm just saying this. I have different opinions.
Yes.
And my opinion's not always right. Just usually.
Right.
I'm just going to say, just joking. My wife thinks that.
No, he's not. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So here's the thing. Okay. The Dumbo. Okay. When you go over to Dumbo and you have these virtual queues.
Yeah.
Okay. So I love and I hate these things too, because I think this is just because I'm old and, from the Midwest, like there needs to be order and like, structure to things. And I feel like, I don't know, like when I get buzzed, I get to go in. That's pretty cool. But like, I'm always like, they're going to not buzz me. But I think that we're going to move to more of these systems in the next decade where you buzz your phone. I thought they would do it a lot and they haven't since Dumbo. You're right. But I think it kind of makes sense. People are out doing things. You could spend money. You could be buying souvenirs. It's like Fast Pass, but it's like for a certain ride. What do you think about these virtual queues?
I don't think that they did what they thought they would do. I think maybe you got people who got angry that, hey, those people went in and I'm still waiting, or, whatever. A line itself like gives you a solid path. Like you said, it's order. You can see where you are in the line and you can see who's ahead of you and how much time until you get on the attraction. With those queues that are, like Dumbo, you can't really see who's in front of you. You can't see how much time you have left. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no way to gauge the time. It's not like they have a countdown timer on your little, golden feather and you say, okay,
it's like going to dinner, like back in the day, well, you're at Applebee's, it might be 30 minutes.
It might be, it might not, you just don't know. And I feel like that's kind of the problem with that type of queue. And I think why it didn't really take off, though. Obviously we're not going to have that in the new Star Wars attractions. It's going to be an actual queue again for those 2 attractions. So clearly it's not something that worked very well, because if it did, I think Disney would continue to be doing it. It's not like you could be, shopping or eating while you're waiting for, look at Dumbo. There's the play area for the kids, but it's not like you can go away from that area and be like, okay, it's not like when you go to a restaurant and they text you, your table is ready, like you have 5 minutes to get back here. Like if you have 5, you have to stay there in order to get on the attraction. You can't go get a, churro next door, or, go shop in, the shop that's there in Storybook Circus. Like you have to be there. So I think it really defeats the purpose of the idea of, hey, you can go do something else. No, really, you still have to stay there, because when your buzzer goes off, it goes off and you have to get on the ride.
But then again, it was nice for Mallory to blow off some steam, and she had the best time in the playground. So the kids loved it. It didn't catch on though, because I thought you'd see that more.
Well, you have the whole idea, kind of, and I don't know if it's because of what, Walt always said, he wanted a place where kids and parents could, go together. And, when the kids are playing on the playground, they're not interacting with their family. So I don't know.
It was a place where families could go, where kids could play and parents could check their phones.
Exactly. I mean, yeah. So I don't, I don't know that it did what they wanted it to do. And I think that's why we don't see them anymore.
I don't know if Walt actually said that. We need a enterprise where kids can go play and parents can
check their phones.
Even though I'm guilty of it just as much as
absolutely. And I know, like, if I had a kid, like, I'm sure, like, I would think that play area was a godsend. Like, I absolutely get the appeal of having it. I just, I don't think that it did what Disney wanted it to do.
So she gives 5 things to do while you're waiting in line. Search for hidden Mickeys.
Yes.
Stay on the Disney Parks app.
Absolutely.
Download Netflix shows.
I know that's the one you don't like.
That is so wrong. You're at Walt Disney World. If you download Netflix shows, there's something wrong with you.
Says the man who is playing on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram while he's waiting in line.
Yeah, exactly. I'm providing content. I'm not.
I see. You're not. You're providing content.
I'm a producer, not a consumer.
Got it.
And I don't have Netflix, so that'd be hard to do for me anyway.
Yeah.
And also listen to music or podcasts. I'm all about
absolutely. You should be listening to this one here.
I really don't like people having in earbuds when you're at Walt Disney World, because the sounds and the people around you are what you're there for. But if you're going to do that, listen to our show.
Exactly.
Going to be selfless and make friends. I love that one though, because there are so many opportunities, because you have something in common. You're going to ride Soarin'. Hey, have you ridden this before? Where are you from? Yeah. I love that idea more than anything else. The hidden Mickeys and even the app's okay, but make friends. I like that one.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, you could definitely have some good conversations with people while you're waiting in line.
All right. So we're going to share this on the Facebook page at facebook.com/BeOurGuestPodcast. Check out the article. Let us know what you agree with and disagree with. Want to hear your favorite.
We know you've got thoughts.
I'm just giving some opinions today, so let's see what you have too. But it's always fun because people like what they like, they dislike what they dislike, and it's fine. I'm not going to argue with you. It's just some things work with me and some things don't. So
exactly, you may think the Haunted Mansion queue is the best thing since sliced bread and disagree with me 150%. But you're wrong, and I'm right. No, I'm just.
It's a fun Friday show, and we're going to have fun all weekend long. Go to the Facebook page, let us know your thoughts, and hopefully, we try to find fun conversations. Hopefully, in your mind's eye, you were in the Jungle Cruise queue, or you were headed over to Everest, or you were here in the Tower of Terror background loop. As
I can hear it right now.
That's the goal of this whole thing.
That's a fast loop. Oh my gosh, yes.
I
forgot to mention that the music really sets the tone in that queue too. Yes, the whole thing. Thing.
We all need an escape to Walt Disney World, and we hope we gave that to you today. So don't forget, we'll have another show for you on Monday, a trip report. But thanks so much for downloading the podcast, and don't forget, today's show brought to you by the great folks over at the Magic for Less Travel. So when you want to head down to Walt Disney World, out to Disneyland, or sail with the Disney Cruise Line, drop by themagicforless.com. While you're there, fill out that free no obligation quote and let them know you heard about them here on the Be Our Guest podcast. Again, check them out over at themagicforless.com. As you do that shopping this weekend, please use our Amazon affiliate link. It's at beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. Costs you nothing extra. You get all your Prime benefits, and it really does help support the show. beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. Give me a follow on social media on Instagram and Twitter at Be Our Guest Mike. I'm at Walt Disney World right now. Lots of pictures, videos, stuff like that. Also, facebook.com/beourguestpodcast. Also follow at Be Our Guest Pod as well. Ricky, you have something.
I was going to say, also make sure to check out the beourguestpodcast.com. It's been redone completely, and it looks fantastic. So if you've thought, oh gosh, their website's terrible, no more.
That was our terrible website decade that we had.
It was, and now that we're in our 11th year, we finally stepped up into the 21st century and have an actual website that looks really good. So you're definitely going to want to check out the new beourguestpodcast.com because it is fantastic.
And also the hack for the website is if you click on Meet the Crew, you can see all three of our Instagram feeds on one page.
You can. It is pretty sweet.
Latest pictures. That's kind of cool to check out. Let's check that out as well. So we're going to get out of here. I got to go, and hopefully, we just hit. We'll see how it goes tomorrow, but we're going to be there. Platinum Athletics Sparkle. We're there having a good time. So follow along on the social media. So for Pam and Ricky, I'm Mike, wishing you a great weekend. Whatever you do, stay safe and go Sparkle. We'll see you real soon. All right. We got through that one.
Yes, we did.
That
had some good discussion to it.
That was fun. That's kind of a fun one.
Yeah.
Hang on. Let me say it real quick. One was that was 1480, I think.
Yes.
All right. Well, thanks for doing 3. I know that's hard.
Oh, no, it's not hard. Brian's at Toastmasters tonight, so I'm fine. I have another probably hour before he's home. At least another half hour, maybe 45 minutes. So. Yeah.
All right. So we'll have some fun, and I will talk to you. Thank you.
So you leave on Wednesday?
Wednesday night.
Okay. So I'll be ready. I will be ready to start sharing on the Be Our Guest podcast.
Oh yeah, dude. I'll be going. Yeah, it'll be fun. Okay,
yeah. So I'm sharing Pam's stuff on the Mouse for Less one now. So if you're not following the Mouse for Less one, make sure you're following along there because I'm sharing all that content she's sharing with me. So.
Yeah, I'll follow.
Yeah, good. You better.
All right, well, I'm gonna go get edit and then get Taco Bell.
And for Taco Bell, I hope you have a nice night and have a good time.
ACL on the cat? Is the cat okay with the ACL?
Yes. So here he is. He's doing really well. And just look away if you're kind of squeamy.
I'm not looking.
His leg is still shaved, but his fur's growing back, and his wound is healing very nicely. And I'm done showing him. You can move your hand now. And he's actually needs to get his stitches removed tomorrow or sometime this week. So I need to call the vet to have the stitches removed. But he's doing really, really, really well. He's walking around really good. He actually attempted to jump up on the bed a couple days ago because he kind of like missed and made a lot of noise and woke me up in the middle of the in the middle of the night.
Blew
So.
out his other ACL, or he's probably got 4 ACLs. I guess he's got 4 legs. I don't know how that works.
Exactly. So, but he's doing fantastic, and he says hi, and thanks for worrying about me because I'm sweet. Yeah. So he's doing good. He's doing good.
All right. Well, I'm gonna start editing. So everybody,
All
you
right.
have a good. What night is it? Monday night.
It's Monday. Yes.
All right. We'll see you guys later. Have a good one. Thank you.
See you all. Bye.
Look for me, Jeff.